Sorry, I already having a problem. This meeting is called back into open session at 6:08 p.m. Roll call, please.
Celia Johnson present.
Jesus Holguin present.
Ruth Self-Williams present.
Brandy Clark, present.
Susan Smith present.
Martin Rex Kedzior present.
Esperanza Arce present.
Robert Verdi present.
Susanna Lopez, present.
Thank you. Before we begin this meeting, I want to ask everyone to join me in observing a moment of silence for one of our students. Jordan Coley was a student at Vista Del Lago High School. He was involved in the JROTC program at school and enjoyed playing video games with friends. He had a smile that can brighten up anyone's day. With deep sadness, his family announced his passing to family and friends this past weekend. At this time, I would like for you to please rise and join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. Now we will have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Peyton English from Canyon Springs High School. Peyton, are you ready? Thank you.
Please stand. Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Peyton. Report out of closed session. Did you give me that? Sorry. Okay. In closed session, we discussed public employee appointment, public employee discipline, dismissal, release, non-reelects, conference with labor negotiator, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, and the superintendent's performance evaluation. The following new employees were approved in closed session. A motion was made by Jesus Holguin and seconded by C.J. Johnson, and approved the elementary principal, Shelley Larson, to be principal of Ridgecrest Elementary School. This was approved by the Board of Education by the following vote: 4 yes and 1 no. Susan Smith, president, yes. Brandy Clark, vice president, no. Ruth Self-Williams, clerk, yes. Jesus Holguin, member, yes. Cleveland Johnson, member, yes. A motion was made by Jesus Holguin and seconded by Ruth Williams, and approved the elementary principal, Brittany Squalls, for Midland Elementary School. This was approved by the Board of Education by the following vote: 5 yes, 0 no. Susan Smith, president, yes. Brandy Clark, vice president, yes. Ruth Self-Williams, clerk, yes. Jesus Holguin, member, yes. Cleveland Johnson, member, yes. Dr. Verdi, would you please introduce these new employees?
I'd be happy to, Ms. Smith, and thank you. And again, usually we get to say welcome to the Moreno Valley family, but tonight it's my honor to congratulate 2 current members of the Moreno Valley family for promoting from assistant principalships to principalships in our district, and we're happy that they chose our district to stick with and to move in this direction, this next step in their career. Very happy, first of all, for the new principal at Midland Elementary School. Have her step forward at this time, Miss Brittany Squalls.
Good evening. First, I'd like to say thank you to Dr. Kedziora, the board, the cabinet, and Moreno Valley Unified School District. I'm honored to be named principal at Midland Elementary. I've been the assistant principal there for the last 18 months, and we've just done wonderful things. I'm very eager and excited to keep those things going, and I'm ready to continue to lead with my Midland family. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay up here for just a second. We just wanted to say welcome to your new position. We're so happy to have you. We're so happy that you decided to stay with Moreno Valley to move up to this position of principal. I know that you're already at Midland, so this isn't a change in location for you, and I know how much they love you and love the work that you've done there, and we're looking forward to working with you in the future. So does anyone else have something to say?
I also want to say thank you so much for applying for the position, first of all. And we are so happy that now you're going to be a full-time principal. We really appreciate that. We're looking forward to the great works that you've already shown us that you're going to be even doing more. And there are a lot of parents who are going to be depending on you. And I know you can meet the bill, whatever they desire for their students. And we know you're going to be the best.
So I want to say congratulations and thank you for your commitment to our school district and to our children and families and community. And you just said you have done a lot of great things with your team. And so we're looking forward to see more of that. And we are here to support you. We want you to be successful, and we'll do whatever we can to support you. So thank you so much for being part of our family. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say congratulations. It means a lot when you are already established at a school site. You were the assistant principal there. So you already know about the relationships with the parents, the community, and the staff. And when you're promoted at the same site, that says a lot about your skill set. And I just want to congratulate you. And I know with the staff, you all are going to continue to do wonderful things for the children at Midland. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Brittany. One of the things I look for when Dr. Kedziora and Dr. Verde are presenting to the board the qualifications is all the achievements that you've made, your suspension records, how you engage with the kids. I ask a lot of questions, and by far you are so amazing. So congratulations, and I'm so grateful that you got this position, and I think you'll do great.
Thank you so much.
Great things are ahead at Midland. We'd like you to come up and shake our hand.
I mean, I just want to say, remember what we said, you know how to pick up the phone, you know how to call me, and you know how to get support. Don't forget that.
Thank you. I won't. Thank you.
The board also took action tonight, Ms. Smith, to name the new principal at Ridgecrest Elementary School. We definitely want to keep Ridgecrest in good hands, and the new principal at Ridgecrest for next year is going to be Ms. Shelley Larson. Ms. Larson, if you'll come forward, please.
All right, I wanted to say also thank you, Dr. Kedziora, for the opportunity, cabinet and board. I'm very excited and humbled by the opportunity. I wanted to say it's been a pleasure to be a servant already of Moreno Valley Unified School District at Bear Valley, and I've really enjoyed my work there. I look forward to serving the school community, the staff, students, and parents at Ridgecrest Elementary. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, and welcome to this new position within the Moreno Valley family. We're so happy to have you in this new job and this new responsibility that you are looking forward to, I'm sure. Bear Valley's loss is Ridgecrest gain, so I'm sure that you will work well with the staff over there as you have at Bear Valley. So welcome and congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes. And congratulations too. I know you're gonna love it over at Ridgecrest. You're gonna do well, and we're just so excited to have you in that new role. So thank you, thank you, thank you for choosing and staying with us. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Congratulations, and it is always good to see our own moving up into much better positions and higher responsibilities. But I trust that you will handle this position very professionally and take care of our children in that particular school. So thank you so much for aspiring to that position and getting there. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say congratulations. You're doing two things. You're promoting, and then you're now at this point changing sites. So you're going to find out he's with that skill set. Now getting to build relationships with a whole new community, different staff, and you have the skill set to be able to accomplish that. So I'd just like to say congratulations, because I know you're going to hit the ground running.
Yes, thank you so much.
Congratulations on your promotion. I think you'll do a good job. If you need us, we're here.
Thank you.
Dr. Kadziora, did you have a few words?
Congratulations. Did y'all bring any, Brent, we didn't ask her this, but where's Brittany? Did you bring anybody with you that you wanted to introduce? Anybody from your family or anything? But if you did, come back up here and introduce them. Because we want people to meet, if you brought somebody with you, and you can do the same thing, but congratulations. I just thought of that. I was going to ask you, and then I thought I should ask you, because we didn't ask you if you had someone with you that you'd like the board to meet.
We like to see the whole family.
Okay.
Well, this is my husband, Robert Sploss.
He's so proud.
You mean to tell me you didn't take any photos? You didn't take any pictures? Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, this is my husband. We have 2 kids, a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, and thank God we didn't bring them. I was going to bring them. I said, no, support like the church, don't bring them. So, yes, this is my family. They're all 4 of us, and my support system.
Thank you. Glad to meet you. And
Well,
did you bring
I had
anyone?
the pleasure of bringing a few of my children. They're at the back of the room.
Are they 1 and 4? Or?
They can all come up. If
Where
that's
are
okay.
they? Come on up.
They didn't know that they were going to be called up here, so. I even had the pleasure tonight to bring some of the educators that really have inspired me. This is Grandma Carol. She was one of my parent volunteers in my kindergarten class in Riverside Unified. Let's see. Dr. DeBerry is here. She is one of my college instructors from California Baptist University, and I've gone on to teach her class. There she is. My oldest son, my youngest son, Ian, they're both here. Andrew, wave. My youngest, Ian, he can wave. Say Brenna. We have a wedding in our future. And then let's see. And then, of course, significant other Rob. He's here tonight as well. So it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, he's got his job and he knows what it is.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. We'd like you to come up so we can congratulate you in person.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Next up, public comments on agenda items. Any person requesting to speak to any item on the agenda may do so at this time or when the item is addressed by the Board of Education. Individual speakers shall be allowed to speak for 3 minutes on any agenda item. The Board of Education shall limit the total time for public input on each agenda item to 21 minutes. Board Bylaw 9323B, Section 5. Per Board Bylaw 9323, twice the allotted time will be provided to a member of the public using a translator. Do we have any Public comments on agenda items.
Ms. Smith, we have one public comment, but the community member wishes to speak when the item's being considered, which is future agenda topics, so it'll be later in the meeting.
So he wants to speak when the item's considered.
Correct.
Okay. Moving on to public comments on non-agenda items. The Board of Education encourages public comments. During this section, staff may briefly respond to statements or questions or may ask questions for clarification. The board may refer to staff or other resources for factual information, direct staff to report back at a subsequent meeting, and/or direct staff to place the topic on a future agenda. If someone wants to lodge a complaint against an employee, the appropriate form may be obtained at any school or the community education center. Individual speakers shall be allowed to speak for a total of 3 minutes on non-agenda items regardless of the number of issues to be addressed by the individual. The Board of Education shall limit the total time for public input on non-agenda items to 21 minutes. Per Board Bylaw 9323, twice the allotted time will be provided to a member of the public using a translator. With Board of Education consent, the president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. The president may take a poll of speakers for or issue and may ask that additional persons speak only if they have something new to 9323 BC Section 5. Do we have some items?
We do have 2 members of the public wishing to speak.
All right. First up, Christopher Farias from MVEA. Come on down.
All right. Good evening, school board members, district cabinet, and Moreno Valley educators, students, and community members. My name is Chris Farias, and I am the proud president of the Moreno Valley Educators Association, or MVA, the local union of the certificated employees. I'm here tonight to urge our school board and district to come to successful bargaining agreements with MVA for the 23 and 24 negotiations year that reflect our association's values of ensuring our educators, our students from preschool to adult ed, and our Moreno Valley community have the necessary resources to be successful in their educational and professional journeys. The recent May revision of the California budget is fully funding COLA, which is the cost of living adjustment for public education. With California experiencing a critical educator shortage, a fully funded COLA provides our district a golden opportunity to recruit and retain highly qualified educators that our students and our community are entitled to. The fully funded COLA would provide an opportunity to value and appreciate, as you have all declared, the best educators in California, and we agree. That's the Moreno Valley Educators Association and the Moreno Valley Unified School District educators. Our valued and appreciated students deserve truly valued and appreciated educators. We have an opportunity to grow our certificated salaries so our educators may have the opportunity to live and work in the Moreno Valley community that we teach and serve in, and also sustain long-lasting careers in the profession of education. MVA educators have always gone above and beyond our roles and responsibilities. We believe that Maslow's hierarchy should come before Bloom's taxonomy. Our educators implement the many educational programs in our district with fidelity and professionalism. While academics is an important focus, so should the topics of the health of our community, both mental and physical. Family access to social services, school leadership, and community engagement should be weighted the same for families and for our students. The work of our educators is essential to continue to improve student learning outcomes, build strong school-to-family relationships, and promote a healthier community, especially in this post-pandemic era of education. In closing, MVA is proud of the transformational work our educators are doing each day across this district. Our educators are part of a school governance model that includes our parents, our students, and our community members who work together to better meet the needs of our students in the Moreno Valley community. MVA members are invested in our community as educators, parents, and residents, including myself. Our other surrounding districts have shown their commitment to their educators with fair and competitive salary increases, improved health benefits, and contract language that recognizes the educational demands of the 21st century classroom. We implore you to be educational leaders who believe and support the best educators in the state, our MVA and Moreno Valley educators. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Johanna Leva. Levia? Are you here, Johanna? Yes, it is. Hello.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you for the many opportunities that we have as parent ambassadors to represent the district. We have been able to attend different meetings, and the one that we were able to present was at CAVE with Ms. Andrea Chavez and Alma Lopez. And we see that sometimes we might be complaining about certain things that we need at the district, or that we see that there's necessity for more. But at the end, you know, when you get to see other districts, you have the opportunity to see that we have a lot of things to be grateful for. We were able to present about DLAC, and we encountered that many districts, they do not have a DLAC, and we've received trainings on the manuals, you know, what our rights are as parents, how we can help and support our children, and seeing that some of the districts that were part of that presentation, or that attended that presentation, you know, that were saying and asking Ms. Andrea Chavez for help because they don't have a manual. They don't have that support from the districts, you know, to have those DLAC meetings where you learn a lot about how to reclassify your kids, you know, and the great things that are being done here at the district. So I just want to say thank you for that opportunity, for seeing that even though we have a lot of work to do and we are a great district, that we also are doing, you know, marvelous things that are helping and supporting our parents. So I just want to say thank you for that and for the opportunities that we receive as parent ambassadors.
Thank you. We appreciate everything you do for our district. Next, updates of future board meetings. Upcoming meetings, June 13th, 2023, closed session at 4 o'clock, open session at 6, right here in the boardroom. June 27th, 2023, closed session at 4 o'clock, open session at 6 o'clock, again right here in the boardroom. June 18th, a regular meeting, closed session at 4 o'clock, open at 6. August 22nd, 2023, closed session at 4 o'clock, open session at 6, here in the boardroom. And the next one will be September 12th, 2023, closed session at 4, open session at 6, here in the boardroom. Again, all these are regular meetings with the same schedule in the same place as usual. Next up, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Kadziora will provide the Superintendent's District updates and informational reports. Dr. Kadziora.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Tonight, welcome everybody, and tonight I just want to remind everyone as we close out a school year, we're in the last quarter. I tell people this, we're in the last quarter, but we still got like, how many days left? Like, how many days is it? Like 12 school days?
Should have asked that before all the teachers left.
But I just want to say to everyone how much they help accomplish our vision and our mission and the portrait of a graduate. So on the next slide, in the portrait of a graduate, there, I would like to recognize Peyton English. And I think you're here tonight, Peyton, aren't you? Would you please come forward? She's a 10th grader at Canyon Springs High School, and Sean Roberson, you're the principal. You can come forward. So every year, our community service groups, the Optimist Club and the Rotary Club, they put on speech contests for students. And Peyton, I remember when you were at Vista Heights and you won speech contests there.
Yeah.
So you've just continued to do this. Canyon Springs High School's Peyton English won first place and a $200 award at the club level four-way Rotary speech contest on March 7th, and the event was held at Brandon's Diner. As the winner, she moved on to the district four-way speech contest, which took place on Saturday, April 22nd at the Beaumont Presbyterian Church. And congratulations to Peyton. And on Thursday, April 27th, Peyton English received an award of recognition for participation in the Rotary District four-way test speech contest, and demonstrating that you're continuing to shine brighter and you're continuing to have excellence on purpose as you are only in the 10th grade. And so you have like 2 more years of high school to demonstrate all this quality and characteristics of a communicator, which is one of the portrait of a graduate. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, did I sit back down or?
No, you can say something.
Oh, I haven't been up
And
here.
I think your mother and father are here too, if you want to introduce them. And
Oh, yeah. I just want to say thank you to the board members for having me here tonight. It's an honor. And I just want to say thank you to my family for having me do what I do, because without them, I pretty much wouldn't be up here right now. So, but sorry about that. I'm just kidding. But yeah, thank you for being my support system. I love you guys immensely. And yeah, thank you.
Peyton, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I would love to know, what was your speech about?
Oh, so it's about the four-way test and about why people do the things that they do. So if I remember correctly, it's been a while, so if I can remember, it's is it fair to all concerned? Is it beneficial to all? And just ultimately being a good person, and you think about your actions before you do it.
I love it. Okay, thank you.
would you please come forward so we can congratulate you? Thank you, and thank you to her family and friends who are here with her tonight. Congratulations.
We'll see about that. Look out. Look out.
Last Friday was our Student of the Year event, and we want to congratulate all the students of the year. I'm sorry I missed it because I was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, seeing my godson graduate from high school, but I really wished I could have been here too. In this event, this isn't the same thing? You're looking at me like, is it? Okay. So I just want to say congratulations to Brianna Trejo Falcon, who's at Canyon Springs High School, Terry Jones from Moreno Valley High School, Madison Chow from Valley View High School, Lionel Castro from Vista del Lago, Sophia Caravias from Moreno Valley Online Academy, Anthony Bernal from March Mountain High School, and Dahlia Casas Gutierrez from Middle College High School. And I just want to tell them how proud we are of them, and that we isn't this the right thing? Okay. Well, you were looking like I was saying something wrong. Okay. Okay. So then recently we had the AXA Award ceremony, and this is for the Association of California School Administrators. We want to congratulate the 4 representatives from our district that were nominated and went on to receive the Region Award. That was Jessica Axe, who's a technology administrator, Marissa Smith for Valuing Diversity Award, Jim Burleson for the Fred Kiesel Memorial Distinguished Service Award, and Nancy Albee for the Marcus Foster Memorial Award for Administrator Excellent. Congratulations to them. Can we give them a hand? Thank you. And then I thought I saw Renee Rogenero here, but maybe she was here, but she nominates people every year for these awards, and Mark Hassan is the principal, but Derek Williams is the secondary teacher at Vista Heights Middle School, and he was nominated for the 2023 Grammy Music Educators Award quarterfinalist. And each year, one recipient is selected from 10 finalists and recognized for the remarkable impact on students' lives. The 10th annual honoree will be flown to Los Angeles to attend the 2024 Grammys, officially known as the 66th Grammy Awards, as well as a range of Grammy Week events. Renee, I was saying, yeah, well, I'm glad you came back in. But you can come up here. And since Derek, I hope he knows how proud we are of him from Vista Heights Middle School. And he's kind of, isn't this like his first year in the position or second year?
I think it's his second year. He was
Yeah.
in elementary band before that and then moved to middle school. And he has a big program over there, and he just does an incredible job. So we were having honor band. We had our honor band concert Saturday, and 2 weeks prior had rehearsals every week. So I was here at the board meeting when you first mentioned it, and the special board meeting, so I took his certificate here, and at the rehearsal gave it to him in front of all the students, and they were cheering and so proud, and that's our teacher. And yeah, he was very, very honored, and he does know that you guys recognized him, so thank you for that.
Well, congratulations, and thank you for, recognizing these artists and applying for these awards. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
And then on Friday, May 12th, was Impact Day at Palm Middle School. Prologis, for the past few years, has been adopting a school, and they had a team of volunteers from Prologis there, and they did a Zen garden, and they did a community. I see you, Miss Neri, there shaking your head, but it's a community pantry. They air conditioned it, and it's a food pantry and clothing, and like for a mini wellness site. So it's truly amazing. So if you get to go over to Palm, make sure you look at that, because it really was amazing what they did. And thank you to Prologis. And then I think, sometimes I was telling Claudia when we were reviewing this today that I've already said this before, but this is a different competition these students were in. On Saturday, May 13th, the Palm Cyber Defense Team, they came in third place because there's different levels of competition, and so they came in third place in the 2023 Southern California Cyber Cup Challenge, and they are so grateful, these students, for the opportunity to represent Palm Middle School, the Cyber Academic Pathway, and Moreno Valley Unified School District. This was the last event of their competition season, but that was huge that they got third place. And can we give them a round of applause, even though they're not here? And then this is from Valley View High School. These students took first and second place for their documentary category for the Riverside County Office of Education 1 Minute Fresh Film Festival. First place, Two Worlds, was Rachelyn Villegas from Valley View High School, and her teacher is Chris Lorenz. And then also second place was Avacia Murillo, who's at Valley View High School, and the teacher is Chris Lorenz. And Karen Johnson is the principal. But this is truly an amazing competition and an amazing award for them to get this far. And so we're very proud of them. Congratulations. And then, I don't know, did Renee leave again? No, she did. Okay, what? This one is another big award for the district. This is a 6th grade student at Vista Heights Middle School, where Mark Hassan is the principal, and Renee Rogenero is the coordinator of visual and performing arts. Carla Sandu won the first place for middle school division of Southern California Vocal Association solo competition on Sunday, May 21st in Northridge, California. The competition started in March after 2 rounds of auditions, and Carla moved up to the finals. Earlier in May, she also performed as part of the Southern California Junior High School 9th grade honor choir. And Renee, I see you came back in, but this is the first time this has happened. Yeah. Yeah, you can come up.
This little one, I stopped by to check out.
Were you talking to the microphone?
Yeah, I know. I talk too much when I'm
No,
still
but talking
walking.
to the microphone.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was at Vista Heights. Well, Vista Heights Middle School has a modern band, which is sort of like a rock band for kids. And the choir teacher teaches it. And they're pretty good. So I booked them to play at an elementary school it was like a reading festival or something. And they were just adorable. And this little one was singing. She was the lead singer of that group. And first thing I did, what's her name? How old is she? And I got all of her information. Her parents were just so proud. It was the first time she'd started singing. And she's very talented. So her teacher ended up pushing her to the SCVA, Southern California Vocal Association competition, and she just soared. But her voice just will warm your heart. It's so rich, and she's got a bright future ahead of her. So we're very proud of her.
Yeah, isn't this the first time at the middle school level we received something like this?
Yes, especially first place for vocal.
Yeah.
We had a couple of the middle schools that went and scored superiors. They did well, but as a group. But when you do the solo competition, it's very competitive. And to have a first place winner at this level is very impressive.
Yeah. Thank
So
you. And
we'll be seeing more of her.
yeah, thank you for encouraging students and teachers to get their kids to enter these contests.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We give her a round of applause, too. And then tomorrow, we've already met them, but we're so excited that 2 educators who attended our College Board session on district-wide supports for African American students and families, that this was in Chicago, are coming to visit our schools. They're from Naperville, Illinois, which is outside of Chicago, the school district. It's Naperville Community Unit, School District 203, and they want to see all the wonderful things that we spoke about, including our parents, students, and schools. We've developed a schedule, and we hope that it works for everyone. We've sent the schedule out, and we hope that everyone is ready for them because they're already here. They came tonight, and it's Dr. Danielle Lusby, who's Outreach and Student Belonging Director, and Ebony Baker, who's Outreach and Student Belonging Director. So we're very proud to have. They're going to be at the Chamber of Commerce in the morning, and we're going to welcome them to the city. And we're just very proud to have them here in our district to see what we do here, and we thank them for coming all the way. And then on Schools Shining Brighter, I just want you to know the Midland Elementary School Innovation Center. This construction is estimated to start in the fall of 2023, and this space will include reading areas, video and sound recording studio, various STEAM functions, and outdoor learning space. It will transform the library and the areas between there so that it makes it a workspace for even using the outdoor area. And then I know you've probably all passed by the new Marino Elementary School, and you can see that's inside of a classroom there. They've already put down some of the carpeting and the flooring. And last night I was at something where people got an award for flooring, and it was in Paris, another district. But I said, well, I didn't know about that award, so this school has some great flooring too. But you know, it's a beautiful school, and we can't wait for students to be there. Then Sunny Mead Middle School, if you look at this is our new multi-purpose room, and it started in May of 2022, and it's working towards completion but not completed yet. But it will change how the students get to have lunch and have other activities. It's truly a new place of pride for the school, and we're looking forward to that. And then these are some dates that we hope you all remember. The Classified School Employee Appreciation Week started this week, and we're very proud of our classified employees. They're indispensable, inspiring, and invincible. And May 26th is a shadow day. It's the first time we've done this in our district. And we're different district at the district office, and some board members are going to shadow classified employees for 3 hours. I plan to be a bus driver that day. I'm not actually going to drive the bus, but I have to be there at 5:30, and I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be there, but and I'm gonna go with the whole route. But it's 3 hours, and I'm going to wear a shirt and everything. I talked to Jim Burleson today, and I'm doing a students with special needs bus. Because I wanted to do that, I asked for it right on A. But Dr. Verdi, what are you going to be? You're going to be a security guard?
Either security or a gardener.
Yeah.
I signed up for one of those.
And then Dr. Arce?
Theater tech.
Theater tech. And then Susanna?
I'm going to be in a school cafeteria.
Yeah. I saw that. I said, these jobs start early, 5:30 in the morning. Yeah. I said, do they have to, you got to be there, you'll miss the bus. So then, this is something I hope you'll all come to, and Matt McCain is here, the principal of Vista del Lago, but Renee Rogenero is the coordinator of visual and performing arts, and she's hosting this at Vista Del Lago High School. And it's the tour band, and this is a band that tours around, and everyone that's seen them wants to see more of them. And this is a concert at Vista Del Lago High School on May 31st, and it starts at 6 o'clock, and it's in the theater there. And it's really exciting what these students have done. And they played at the RCO, Riverside County Office of Education, student awards, academic awards, and everyone there couldn't believe they were in high school. So we're looking forward to that. And then this is the time of year when we look forward to every one of these students graduating, crossing the stage. There's 2,540 students that will be graduating this year, and it will start on Monday with Moreno Valley High School at 6:30, and then on Tuesday we'll have March Mountain at 9 o'clock in Canyon Springs at 6:30, and on Wednesday Bridges Learning Center at 9 o'clock in Valley View High School at 6:30, and then on Friday it will conclude at Vista Del Lago High School at 6:30. And you can see the number of graduates at each school. Thursday, excuse me, I'm sorry. Thursday, June 8th, because June 9th is the last day of school. But very exciting time, and means a lot to students when we're there, and when they get to see everyone, and it's just, very exciting. Thank you, Mrs. Smith. I didn't get a lot of audience participation out there, but y'all can clap,
Thank you, Dr. Ketzior. We're moving on to item E5A, resolution number 2022-23-109, LGBTQ Pride Month, June 2023. Therefore, be it resolved that the Moreno Valley Unified School District Board of Education recognizes the Employee Pride Group and declares the month of June as Pride Month. I need a motion to approve this resolution.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this.
I'll second.
Moved by Mr. Johnson, seconded by Ms. Clark. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Hogan?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. This resolution will now be presented by Mrs. Self-Williams. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. I'd like to have Harold Accord, behavior intervention teacher from Landmark Middle School, to come forward. Jess Sanchez, the professional development specialist. Juan Orique, executive assistant to the superintendent, and Mr. Alan Collins, advisor of the Gay Straight Alliance Club of Vista Del Lago High School. The Moreno Valley Unified School District models, advocates, and promotes the inclusive and respectful treatment of everyone. Our district is committed to school safety for all, including the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning community, more commonly known as LGBTQ, or those that may be perceived as such. Sexual orientation and gender expression based bullying on among the most common forms of harassment in schools, which leads to significantly higher rates of school dropout, academic failure, and school disengagement among LGBTQ youth across the country. We believe no one should ever be the target of bullying, harassment, or violence, and we strive to ensure that schools are consistently safe and affirming spaces for all students, staff, and their families. The month of June is an opportunity to celebrate the identities and contributions of the LGBTQ community. We encourage everyone to join us in observing the month of June as Pride Month to support and respect for our LGBTQ students, staff, and their families. And I'd like to have you come forward if there's something you'd like to say.
So my name is Alan Collins. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am a school counselor at Vista Del Lago High School, as well as the Gender Sexuality Alliance, or GSA Club Advisor. So on behalf of our students and parents with students from the LGBTQ plus community, I want to thank the board for passing this resolution. This action sends a clear message to our students that their Moreno Valley school community respects, values, and recognizes them for who they are. This level of support and acceptance too often is missing from their home lives, resulting in significantly higher rates of depression and suicide. According to the Trevor Project's 2021 National Survey on LGBTQ youth mental health, simply providing youth access to spaces that affirmed their sexual orientation and gender identity cuts suicide attempts by half, and in some cases more than half. It's pretty remarkable. Just by passing this resolution, you are literally saving lives. So thank you.
Thank you to the board and cabinet. I know I accepted the resolution back in 2020, so that was such an honor. And it's an honor again to accept it this time again. But my message I want to make clear today is, I know we touched base on student support, but we need more school districts to do what we're doing. And it's very unfortunate that in this county, Moreno Valley and maybe another few districts do not accept or do not acknowledge this resolution. So it is amazing that as a district we do this. And we acknowledge that we exist and that we're here. And we know hate exists because just yesterday, look at the Los Angeles Dodgers, how they retracted their statement. Looking at LA, such a diverse, liberal city, and for them to state what they stated towards that group was not fair. And for them to retract it made us seem like we had to go backwards just to go forward again. Yeah. So my message again is for other districts, other superintendents, other board members, if you're watching this, please, please, please let down your boundaries and you need to accept diversity because we're here and we're not gonna go away. That's it.
Amen.
Hello everyone, my name's Harold Acord. This is my 36th and last year as an educator here in the district. And I just want to think and echo what my two previous colleagues had to say. Also, I want to just talk a little bit about history. I do want to tease Dr. Verdi a little bit. He asked me when he came in if this was going to be my last hurrah, and I don't know, maybe this could be it. We'll see. Keep you all waiting. But in 1987, when I moved here from Michigan, I was very afraid to be who I was, how I am, to be who I am and how I am. It was very hard. I was afraid every day what would happen to me if people found out about me and who I am, that I am a gay man. And it was hard. I am so happy to say that over the many years here in this district, things have changed. It has been a wonderful transformation. I am proud to see the leadership that we have here that are part of making sure that this happened. When I was MVA president, we had to work a long time to get it to where we could have this resolution and get it accepted. And I am so happy to accept that today, to be out, to be proud, and to echo my colleague's statement. We are here, we're not going anywhere, except for me who's retiring. But let's take care of our students. Let's continue to make sure that they're safe and they can be who they are. Thank you very much.
And if we can have you to come up, we'd like to shake your hand and present you all with the resolutions.
Love hearing that. I will. So, oh, he doesn't have a phone. He hasn't had a phone in 2 months because his grades are trash.
Thank you very much. We are now moving on to Resolution 2022-23-112, Global Day of Parents, June 1st, 2023. Be it therefore resolved, resolved that the Moreno Valley Unified School District Board of Education recognizes June 1st as Global Day of Parents, celebrating our parents for their commitment to children worldwide. Can I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
And I will second that. Moved and seconded. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. And now this resolution will be presented by Mr. Holguin.
Thank you so much, Ms. Smith, for allowing me to present this resolution. This is meaningful and very important resolution. And before I call our guest to accept it, I want to thank the board for signing this resolution, for adopting it and signing it, and for to the district for bringing it forward for adoption this evening. So I would like to invite Gail Chandler, Joanna Leyva, and Melissa Neri, parent ambassadors, to accept this resolution, please. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, the three representatives from our parent ambassadors. And I have the resolution that has been signed by all members of the board and the superintendent. And just a little bit of history here. In 2012, the United Nations General Assembly declared the first ever Global Day of Parents. Global Day of Parents is celebrated on June 1st each year to honor parents and their commitment to children worldwide. Tonight, we would like to honor and thank all parents and guardians of our community who have partnered with us to create positive experiences for all students while building relationships through parent involvement and engagement. As you already know, parents are our first teachers. They lay the foundation for children. Being a parent is one of the most universal experiences. At the same time, it is also a challenging experience that comes with countless sacrifices. And by declaring June 1st as the day to observe Global Day of Parents, we hope to stimulate awareness of the importance of parenthood and its role in providing protection and the tools needed for positive development in children. We encourage all community leaders, parents, children, teachers, and family organizations to celebrate this special day by recognizing and thanking parents for what they do each and every day. And we all know it's a very difficult task, but with a lot of rewards, a lot of sacrifices, but a lot of rewards. And I am so pleased to see all the parents that are involved in the parent ambassadors and all the other parent organizations in our district, and the sacrifices that they make every single day to make sure their children are coming to school well prepared for the learning process. So once again, thank you, colleagues, for adopting and signing this resolution. And thank you, parent ambassadors, for what you do and for for coming this evening to accept this resolution. And before you come so we can shake your hands, would you please say words and accept this resolution?
Good evening, Board Member President Smith, Vice President Clark, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Katsira, district leadership, and our amazing community of Moreno Valley School District.
As a parent ambassador and representing other parents, I accept this resolution and want to say thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity. We are all honored. On behalf of our amazing parents, we are so grateful for the board recognizing the importance of parent involvement. Our students, our parents, are the key cornerstone of our school. We are so pleased that this resolution will be honored by the board, the district, our parents, our students. My motto is get involved, stay engaged. We thank you so very, very much.
Thank you so much again for. Did you go ahead, please?
So I had just a little bit I wanted to share with you. Again, my name is Melissa Neri. As a parent ambassador for Palm Middle School in our district, my focus includes communication and parent engagement. I believe my time as a parent volunteer has bloomed into something much more special than I could ever imagine. The connections and relationships I have built with teachers and admins has allowed me to better communicate and connect with our families through those relationships. I have been able to model to our parents that they too can be engaged, involved, and help others in need. Not only have I become close to my families, but I also with many students. I have seen many students graduate, change, and one child in particular that I've known for many years, I got the opportunity to see them grow into a wonderful young adult who's about to graduate despite the difficulties they faced. One day, something very drastic happened to a friend of theirs and their world shattered into a million pieces. Knowing this, I kept checking on this student and made sure the school did as well. Now, due to my position as a parent ambassador, I was able to connect this student's family with the necessary resources for finances and mental health. I was afraid that they might give up on their senior year, so I also had the social worker, counselor, and admin of their school keep an eye on them. So now, in 3 weeks, I will watch this student walk across the stage into their beautiful future that awaits them. This child had to overcome many challenges since middle school and deal with a tragic event in high school, but they have overcome it all with the love, support, and help of their family, teachers, peers, and a very well-engaged parent. Due to this support, they will finish strong. As a parent ambassador, I will help to provide more activities and opportunities to fully involve our parents. Along with that, work with my fellow parent ambassadors to address any challenges, if any, to getting and keeping parents engaged. I appreciate the opportunity our district has given us as parent ambassadors to help our students with college readiness, improvement in attendance, safe environments, and most of all, improve the health in these families with resources for food, shelter, and medical. MVUSD shines brighter when we work together as one. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you. Like I said before, my name is Joanna Leiva. I'm being a parent ambassador for 6 years. But I want to say thank you for the support that I have had for this, from this district. A little short story. Being a parent ambassador and seeing how supported, are the parents and how important it is that parents are engaged. It gave me the opportunity to think about that parents deserve to be recognized. I see the example that the parents set up, by being involved in the school and how that affected positively, to the students. I see Rocio and Miss Margarita, being so involved in PTA, ELAC, book club, and how that serves as an example to their children, because I saw their kids being so involved in the different organizations that the high schools, Moreno Valley, had. And that came to the idea that something needed to be done. So I was able to talk to Miss Maribel Maddox, but then COVID hit, and everything had to be on hold after she said, yes, we're going to do something. And I'm just so grateful and thankful that I was being able to be heard by Dr. Arce when I talked to her. And it's been, a little wait, but I just want to say thank you, Dr. Arce, for hearing and listening to a dream that I had and making this dream come true. I have no words to show my gratitude and my appreciation, because I had to be, like Miss Andrea Chavez said, Joanna, just be patient and, talk to the right person, and that person will help you to have that dream of yours come true. So I just want to say thank you for making this happen, for having this resolution. We have so many parents from different ethnic backgrounds, from different groups, that they deserve to be recognized, because they work so much. We have parents. I have a parent at Northridge. She's been part of PTA for 37 years, and it is important for them to be, recognized. Thank you so much, board members, for passing this resolution. Dr. Katsura, thank you.
My final statement to the board and Superintendent Dr. Kazior is we as a district need to encourage our parents, our students, for the culture and the climate, so that they will be able to walk on any campus and be welcomed. Encourage, engage, get involved. And we appreciate each and every one of you guys. We thank you for the resolution, and thank you so much for inviting us here this evening.
Well, thank you so much, and hopefully this resolution sends that message to our community.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Would you please come forward?
Close the Moreno Valley Unified School District's 2023-24 bargaining objectives. Initial proposal with the California School Employees Association and Moreno Valley Chapter 410. This is the Moreno Valley District's proposal. So Dr. Verde, do you speak now before we open the public hearing? Okay, so we need to have a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Call for a vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. So now we need comments. Do we have any public comments on this? No. Okay, so is this where you speak?
Yes, thanks so much, Ms. Smith. This is part of the normal bargaining process. The district is presenting the articles that we are continuing to discuss with CSEA, Chapter 410 in the current bargaining cycle. We're negotiating the following articles, and these are subjects during negotiations on our successor agreement. Article 10, which is recruitment and selection of personnel. Article 31, paid leave of absences. Article 27 is salaries. That's an automatic reopener. Article 28 is health and welfare, also a reopener. And Appendix C, which is our school calendars, also a reopener. All current contract conditions remain the same unless modified through negotiations. And of course, this list is not exhaustive, and both the district and CSEA reserve the right to make additional proposals as our negotiations progress. Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no further comments, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Moved and seconded to close the public hearing. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. Now, moving to F2, we need approval to adopt the Moreno Valley Unified School District's 2023 bargaining objectives with the California School Employees Association and Moreno Valley Chapter 410. So, Dr. Verde, is this just the proposal to accept what you already told us about?
Yes, that's correct. You are approving our proposal that we've just read into record, Ms. Smith.
All right, thank you. So do I have a motion to approve these bargaining objectives?
Move to approve the bargaining objectives as presented.
I'll second.
Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. All right, now we are moving to item 3, and this is the California School Employees Association's 2023-24. So we had the district's proposal, now we're hearing the association's proposal. So we need to open a public hearing on their proposal.
I moved we open the public hearing to hear the proposal.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Call for a vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. Okay, comments. Do we have any comments? Mrs. Neal, did you want to come up and say a few words about your proposal? Yes. I sense that.
I'm like you know, you do this every now and then. And
Just give me the look. I'm right with you.
Good evening, Board. At this time, Moreno Valley Unified School District with CSEA bargaining objectives, we come forth to you today and we're bargaining for Article 2, recognition, Article 6, association rights, Article 10, recruitment and selection of personnel, Article 15, promotional, Article 17, assignments and reclassification of bargaining members, Article 18, hours and assignments of bargaining unit members, Article 20 22, transfers, Article 28, benefits, Article 31, paid leave and assignments, and looks like one is missing, salaries. Article 27, salaries.
Thank you. Are there any other comments?
No, we thank you for letting us come forth and present our proposal, and we are hoping for approval, and we're hoping to enjoy the next year of negotiations with our district, and thank you.
Okay, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'd like to make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we close the public hearing. A call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. So now in F4, we have an approval to accept these California School Employee Association 2024 bargaining objectives with the Moreno Valley Unified School District. So now we are accepting their proposal. We've had the public hearing open, closed. Now we're accepting this proposal as Jolynn just presented it. So can I have a motion to accept this proposal?
Madam President, before a motion, I just want to make a clarification. There was an extra item mentioned that is not included in the list presented to us.
The item Ms. Neal was referring to, Mr. Holguin, was salaries, which was covered on ours. Salaries and benefits and calendar are all automatic reopeners anyway, so I think she just wanted to read that into the record, and we are addressing salaries as part of our reopeners.
I heard Article 27, which is not included in the, is that the one we're talking about?
That's correct, sir. That's the salaries article. That is
Thank you.
included. Thank you.
Thank you. So I move we approve their proposal, including item 27, which is not included in the written report.
Okay. Do I have a second on that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Who was it that seconded?
Mrs. Clark.
Mrs. Clark. Thank you. Call for a vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. Now we are on F5, another public hearing. Conduct a noticed public hearing regarding conveyance of an easement and right-of-way to the city of Moreno Valley for municipal utility purposes. Susanna, could you tell us about this?
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Smith.
I'm sorry, I'm supposed to open the public hearing first, so let's have a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
And seconded?
Do we have a motion?
I'll second. Yeah, Ms. Clark.
Moved
did.
by Mrs. Clark, seconded by Mrs. Self-Williams. Call for a vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. So now we will have comments on this item.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. So this public hearing is related to conveying the easement and the right-of-way to the city of Moreno Valley for municipal utility purposes. At our board meeting on May 9th, the board adopted a resolution 2022-23-84 in which we indicated the intent to convey the easement and the right-of-way. So this public hearing is the next step in this process. And what this would allow is it would allow us to grant access to the city and allow them to construct, operate, maintain, and repair municipal service facilities and be able to read the meters. And this would be for our Moreno Elementary School, the new site, which is located on Nason Street. And so this is the next step in that approval. And we are seeking approval for that. And I also want to mention that I didn't mention last time, there would be no cost to the district for this.
Thank you. Are there any other comments on this agenda item? All right, in that case, I need a motion to close this public hearing.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Could I have the vote, please?
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. Moving on to item F6, approval of consideration and adoption of Resolution 2022-23-108 of the Board of Education, authorizing conveyance of an easement and right-of-way to the city of City of Moreno Valley for municipal utility purposes. So we had a public hearing and now we're adopting it?
That's correct.
Okay, did you want to say anything
additional-
further?
No additional information.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve this resolution?
I move that we approve resolution number 2022-23-108.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Ms. Self-Williams. Call for a vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. Let me see. Was that F5?
6.
That was F6. Okay, so now we're on agenda item F7. So F7 is to conduct a noticed public hearing regarding proposed formation of Community Facilities District Number 2023-2, the proposed levy of special taxes of Community Facilities District Number 2023-2, and incurring bonded indebtedness within Community Facilities District Number 2023-2. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'd like to make a motion that we open the public hearing.
I second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. This is now the time and place designated for the combined public hearings on the proposed establishment of CFD number 2023-2, the proposed rate and method of apportionment of special tax, and the incurring of bonded indebtedness by the CFD. Will staff please provide a presentation regarding this item?
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Smith. On April 11th, 2023, the board approved resolution number 2022-23-75 and declared the intention to establish Community Facilities District 2023-2, which would be formed for certain public facilities to be funded or financed by the CFD, including the school facilities as set forth in the school facilities funding and mitigation agreement between and among the Moreno Valley Unified School District and GPA Alessandro LLC. The CFD may also provide funding to finance other public facilities that are owned and operated by the Eastern Municipal Water District as well as the City of Moreno Valley. Key Analytics has prepared and submitted the CFD report for this proposed CFD number 2023-2. We'd be happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Are there any questions from members of the board? Okay. Has staff confirmed that all notices, filings, and publications have been completed?
Yes, all notices, filings, and publications for these public hearings have been completed and are on file at the district office.
Have any written protests been received from any person as to these proceedings, the special tax, or proposed bonded indebtedness for CFD number 2023-2?
No written protests have been received.
Is there anyone present who wishes to speak in favor of CFD number 2023-2? The proposed rate and method of apportionment or the proposed bonded indebtedness of the CFD? If so, please give your name and address and state whether you are an owner of property with it or a registered voter within the proposed CFD. Is there anyone who wishes to speak against or protest generally against A, the establishment of CFD number 2023-2, or B, the extent of the proposed CFD? C, the types of public facilities to be financed through the proposed CFD, the rate and method of apportionment of special tax proposed, or the necessity to incur bonded indebtedness in an amount not to exceed $18 million. If so, please give your name and address, and if applicable, state whether you are an owner of property or a registered voter within the proposed CFD. If there are no more comments, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'd like to make a motion that we close the public hearing.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to close the public hearing. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams.
Aye.
Ms. Clark.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye. Has staff determined whether there is a majority protest as to the establishment of proposed CFD, the furnishing of the specified types of facilities or services, the levy of the special taxes, the necessity to incur bonded indebtedness, or other related matters regarding the proposed CFD?
A majority protest does not exist as to any pending matters relating to the proposed Community Facilities District number 2023-2.
All right, thank you very much. I guess we are moving now on to we did closing the public hearing. We're moving on to the consent agenda, page 76. All matters in this category are considered to be consistent with the board district goals. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is required, items may be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Madam President, I move we approve the consent agenda as presented, with the exception of a couple of items that we already voted, but I don't have.
No,
the
we removed
preference.
those from the consent agenda and voted on them already. They are not on the consent agenda.
The human resources items are not on the consent
They're
agenda?
not on the consent agenda.
Oh, okay, I missed that piece. How did that happen?
Exactly. We should have a discussion.
I'm sorry, you know, every single time we are pulling these personnel items from the consent agenda. So I asked the superintendent, and I probably should have discussed it first, if we could just vote on these items separately instead of pulling them every single time. And he said we could do that. And as you know, we voted on them in closed session, then we publicized the vote, and they're not on the consent agenda anymore. And that was at my request. And if you would like them, let's just go back and do it the other way, because I think nobody likes it this way.
No,
I
that's
think it's
okay.
not
I
that-
didn't say I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I just didn't understand it, that's all.
Right. I don't think that nobody likes it. I think that we
No.
weren't given the opportunity to know that there was a change coming, and we were shocked to have all our votes read out in public. I mean, it's public knowledge, but it was just I didn't even know it was coming. I feel like I was blindsided. This
I'm
entire
sorry.
board was blindsided.
Usually we vote in public on those. The vote is usually taken in public. We pull the items, we vote in public. This time we voted in
No.
closed session, but publicized the,
We always vote in closed session, and we come out and report 5 yes or 5 nay. We have never voted in open session on a personnel action.
all right, Dr. Kedziora, could you please clarify that for me?
No, I think the clarification is that we voted when in open session, or you shared the results of the vote from closed session. We didn't vote in open session. We shared the results from closed session, but you did something very similar today, but it was by individual.
But you told me to do it by individual.
Well, that's what the attorney said, that when you asked the question, you asked if we had to do, because y'all, every time, what this was trying to do was eliminate the need to remember to pull the item or what the number was.
Mhm.
And so when we received the question, we conferred with legal counsel, and they said you could do that as long as you take the vote, we read out the vote when you come back into open session from closed session.
Okay.
No, it's not okay. I think that we all are under the impression that certain rules are followed in closed session. And if those rules are going to change when we are speaking our opinion amongst colleagues, then we should be notified of the change prior to getting on the dais.
Okay, I thought we had always voted in open, Dr. Verde, haven't we always voted on those in open session?
We usually would vote, there'd be a vote conducted upstairs, and then at this point, or at the beginning of the meeting, I should say, it would be pulled for report out, and then it would be reported out by a vote of 5-0, the following position was approved.
Then why was I told tonight that I had to read out the votes?
Because the vote was conducted up there, and as Dr. Kidzior said, because we're not having it on the consent agenda, the attorney gave us that guidance.
Well, actually, what happened was I personally voted no for a reason, and I feel that this was a personal call out to me, because it was well known that I was struggling with an appointment, and it was shared on this dime for full transparency. And now we change a rule in the middle of a board meeting, and all the board members don't know what's happening. This is not okay. This is the first time we've ever done this. This is the first time since I've been on the Board of Education, that we wrote a statement. So it was time to tell the other board members in closed session. This was agendized, so we could talk about it. So it was written out, it was fully prepared, the president knew about it, but the rest of the board didn't. And all of a sudden, we're down here, and it's called out how each board member voted. That's never happened before. I don't mind, because I vote the way I vote, and I'm proud of my vote. I sleep at night. However, I do mind that it wasn't shared with the rest of this board. I do mind the way that it was handled. And I would suggest that it not happen again.
All right, I'm looking on the meeting minutes for the last meeting, and it looks like at the last meeting, we approved the coordinator of universal pre-kindergarten. We did that in open session. Every vote is listed here. That was an open session vote. We approved the principal of the early childhood learning Head Start. That was done in open session. That was an open session vote. It's right here on the agenda.
Whether it is or not, maybe there's a cognitive issue, because it's on YouTube and you can look how we did it.
Yes, Claudia, please.
So, Ms. Smith, the way we report out in closed session or in open session is, like Dr. Verde said, the 5-0 or the 4-1. So we do know that there's always a 5-0 vote or a 4-1 vote. And then in the minutes, it is recorded who votes the yes or the no's. But when it was reported out, it wasn't reported out specifically by name. But now, because of this change, legal did say in order for us not to put it under consent, we had to list the names and how each board member voted.
Which is fine, but if legal consent happens, there's plenty of time to let the board know that legal gave some advice and disseminate the information amongst all of us.
You know, I met with Dr. Keziora before any of you met with him. I think there was time for that information to be disseminated to you.
I didn't share the information with you, though. Claudia called you, because I didn't, she told me that she was going to call you with it, but I should have shared it, but
I am unable to call all the other board members and
I
tell them
understand.
something, because that will be a violation of the Brown Act.
But since we're speaking of it in open session, I think that I have the right to defend my no at this time then, and I'd like to do so. The reason that I voted no for the appointment of the principalship is because Dr. Kidziora was a coach to this particular individual who's done a great job since she's been here. And this individual now works at I keep looking at Verde. Let me look this way. At Bear Valley. And the suspension rate amongst African American kids are 4.4%. It's really, really high for the district. As an AP, I felt like she needed more coaching and assistance before we promoted her to a principalship, where at Ridgecrest, the principal there has done an amazing job at ensuring there are no suspensions at that school and working. And I wanted this particular leader to maybe get additional coaching, or was there a plan for her to have additional coaching because her suspension rate was so high? I wanted to know if she, I just wanted to see more on her resume or her credentials, right? And so that's why I voted against that particular leader. She has big shoes to fill at Ridgecrest.
The former principal there was doing great, and I wasn't comfortable with the move. So that's what it is.
All right. I'm sorry everyone was not informed. It is beyond my ability to call all the other members of the board on a particular item on the agenda and talk to them about it. That will be a violation of the Brown Act. I can't do that. I have to rely on staff to disseminate that information. So I am sorry if you felt called out. You have my apologies. It's okay. Now, let's move on. And
So, Madam President, I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I will second that. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. All right, let's move on to H1. Is that where we are? H1, discussion on re-engagement strategies for the school year 2022-23. Dr. Kadziora.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. On this PowerPoint, we continue. I'm just going to go right to the slide on the chronic absenteeism, and I wanted to remind everyone that our chronic absenteeism on this chart, increased by 248% this year, and this is a large increase, and we want to continue to emphasize school attendance by everyone, and so that's on that slide. But on the next one, we show some improvement, and I wanted to say that middle school chronic absenteeism, the rate is 23.3%, which is 3.21% lower than the district rate. And then the MVUSD elementary school average is 28.51%, and the MVUSD high school average is 21.37%. The elementary schools with the highest percentage of attendance over the 6-week period who won a whole school churro truck prize, and that was Ridgecrest with 89.25%, La Jolla with 90.6%, Ramona with 90.41%, Sunnymead Elementary with 90.65%, Midland with 90.62%, Marina with 90.3%, and Honey Hollow with 90.11%. So one of the things we're trying to do is reach a 95% average daily attendance, which is what we had before the pandemic, and we want to get back there. So this is why we're trying to reemphasize how important attendance is. And there was a decrease of 0.57% in the district current chronic absenteeism rate of 26.6% since we last discussed this. So I just want everyone to know that there is a decrease, and I want to thank everybody for trying, because independent study when your child is out helps, and that helps cover the absence, and also helps them stay up to date with school. But there's all kinds of different strategies taking place, and we just want to reemphasize how important attendance is. And then on supports and services, we know that students use our services such as paper tutoring, FEV tutoring, and SHMOOP, and then the social and emotional and mental health resources are very important. We know students are struggling and that families are struggling, and so we ask you to continue to reach out if you need support. There's a number on there. There's a QR code, and I can't read the number, but can you read it, Anna E? Because I can't see it. I can't even see it on the paper I'm looking at. Thank you. It's the telephone number. I just want to reemphasize, people need help sometimes and they don't know where it is. And I just want people to know that there is help. And I'm especially, I've had a couple of students text me tonight. They're struggling. And Can you? I mean, I can't see it. And I said that today when I was looking at it.
All right, it's 951
951
572
572
7500
7500.
Extension
17 17536. But that's not really I mean, I appreciate that. But what's the number that they can call anytime if they need help?
It's 951-571-7500. The extension is 46137.
Thank you. Can you say that again?
The number is 951-571-7600, and the extension is 46137.
That's the number you should put on this flyer.
Yes.
47. That needs to be updated.
Yes, I agree. I just want to re-emphasize, though, to families and students that may be listening, that we have counselors at schools, we have social workers, we have marriage and family therapists, and then there's a number that you can call for help. I don't know if everybody knows this number, but that's the number I was looking for. Somebody was listening to me, and they just texted me, 988. You can call 988. It's a crisis line, and you can call it 24/7, and somebody will help you, and they'll link you to services. So
Just 3 digits, 988.
Just 3 digits, 988. It's a crisis line. That's what I was trying to remember, Ms. Smith, and somebody heard me. That's the beauty of this, what I'm doing right now, because people are listening, and students, I want them to remember this number, 988. Because wherever you are, wherever you go, you can ask for help. And, I have students that are watching right now, and they're telling me, because we talk to kids all the time about this, and it's important for all the adults in the room to know it, and in the adults that are listening, because somebody, could be on the ground or could be somewhere, and there's you, John Ferranga. You know that number, don't you? Yeah. I thought you were going to text it to me. But anyway.
He could have just stood up and yelled. He was right here.
But I just think it's so important. I can't emphasize that enough, to know that and to give that to people. And so I also want to recognize on the literacy piece, this is in English and Spanish, which is Footsteps to Brilliance. And I do want everyone in Moreno Valley to know that we have the highest usage of any district in Riverside County. And thank you, Carol Boyne-Held and Jennifer Adcock and all the people who helped put this out there, because it takes all of our voices to continue to remind people. And parents tell me when their children use it, they improve. They do better. And this is from birth to 5th grade. You can use it on your phone. And, I've been in, places, I don't have any small children, but I see children on telephones, and they watch things on it. And you can program this so they can do this on their phone. So I just want to remind people, we want everyone to read by 3rd grade. And so this is extremely important, information. So everyone help please share that. And then I shared this page from our health and wellness webpage. This is on our district website. And this information is updated and maintained by the district departments who oversees these areas. And this is available district-wide on all school websites under the Resources tab. So you go to Health and Wellness, and there's different areas on there, like suicide, there's, wellness, there's different things you can click on, and you can get support. So I just say that because there's different ways of accessing information, and I want people to know that we have that available. We're very proud to offer a really exciting expanded summer learning program this summer, especially in grades kindergarten through 5. This is for incoming 6th graders at schools that have 6th grade. And I hope more people register for this. It's offered at 14 schools. And if you go on the QR code there, it tells you, and I've showed parents this, how to do it. It shows you how to apply, and it shows you where the locations are, and you can sign up for it there. Transportation is provided if it's not offered at your child's school. But if you go into your child's school, they can help you with this. And
Dr. Kizura, can I ask a question for the parents who may be listening, for the cool off with summer expanded learning. All right, there are 2 sessions, so the children can attend both, because I
Yes.
see one is June 20th through July 5th, and session B is July 6th to July 20th, so they can attend both.
They can attend both, yes.
Okay, okay.
And even if they miss a day, they should come back.
Okay.
Because, you know, I don't want children to be turned away. We've said this, and we want them to come to this because it's really being designed to make it just something they want to be at, you know, and engaged in. They're also going to go on field trips in this, and they're really good field trips. They're not, you know, last year they went to the Harkins Theater, and that was exciting, but I'm not supposed to tell where they're going because they're really big field trips and want people to sign up.
It's going to be better than a Harkins Theater. You can go there anytime.
And Anna E., do you remember what the enrollment was today for this, for the elementary?
For the elementary is 766.
760 students so far. But, you know, there's like 15,000 elementary students, so we'd like a lot more to come. And that's why we keep saying this, because this is a wonderful program. And, you know, we just know that when kids come, they do better in school because they have more connections and relationships and support. So we just want to keep asking people to sign up for this. And then the middle school program is 8:30 to 12:30 Monday through Friday except July 4th. And it's June 20th through July 11th. And it has a STEAM Academy course recovery and meals. The total for middle school right now is 190, and you know, there's about 8,000 middle school kids. So we'd like a lot more than that, and schools are working on that. Sometimes, you know, students don't realize what they can gain by coming to this, but I do know when I visit them and they're at it, they do better. They're more excited about school. They're more engaged, and it makes them more alive about learning. And this is a real opportunity for them. And then the high school one is huge already, but it usually is. These kids, they know what to do. But I'm really proud of this because our kids need expanded opportunities, second chances. And that's how our graduation rate continues to improve, because kids do need these additional opportunities. So Session A is June 20th through July 3rd, and Session B is July 5th through July 18th. And there's morning and afternoon sessions. You can go all day if you want to. And this is so, and I want to thank Dr. Arce, because one of the things we talked about was choices for students and families, so that if they had to work or if they had to take care of somebody, there was a way for them to do this and a way to go to school. So I want to thank MVA and CSCA for working with us on this, because it truly is a partnership to get kids, you know, graduated and supported. And the total for high school right now is 2,276. So, you know, we don't have a problem there.
I have a question.
Okay.
Can one student, individual students, go to both session
Yes.
A and B?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
For high school.
Yeah, and there's students that do that. When I was at Canyon Springs last year in a physics class at 5:30 in Mr. Reitner's class, I was like, it was over at 6:30, and I thought, what time is it? But and I asked some kids, and they said, I've been here all day, Dr. Kenziora. And they really like it, you know. And I can't believe that. It was physics, you know. I was like, you know. So
they're taking one class each session, so they could take 4 classes,
they
high
could,
school
yeah.
student?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you need credit recovery or want to get ahead, that's the way to go.
We hope that they do. So, you know, I just want to say that our registration numbers for our traditional high schools is really good. Valley View has 900 students signed up for this. Canyon Springs has 430, Moreno Valley has 600, and Vista Del Lago has 345. And I was talking to John Black today, our Director of Secondary Education, and how we need to really, you know, keep monitoring these numbers. At our middle schools, we need to, you know, there's more that's needed as far as communication, and we're going to work on that. And our alternative schools, you know, we have 100 at Bayside, 330 at Mavoa, and 170 at March Mountain. So this is good, but we know there's more need. And then I want you to know, I talked to Donna Woods today on this next slide about the cyber camps. and I want you to know there are 5 spots left. And 5 spots, y'all. There were 100 spots, and she said every time we talk about it here, it increases. So I just want to say there's only 5 spots left, and it's free. And y'all. There's something else on here that I don't know if y'all have seen, but for adults, they have a cyber safety and hygiene workshop, and it's June 14th or 15th, and it's from 2 to 4. And Donna Woods did this as a response to senior citizens in our community that want more education on cybersecurity. And I think that's a wonderful outreach program. So that's for adults. So they have elementary, middle, high school, and adults. So if you go on a waiting list, they will. If somebody doesn't show up, they'll call you and give you their spot. But that's another exciting Only 5.
I'm impressed that even second graders can go.
Yeah, and they're going to go to a high school. They're going to be at the Cyber Innovation Center. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
where are the 5 spots? Is that?
It could be. She said that she would just take them anywhere in there.
But that doesn't include the adults, right?
No, the adults is separate. That's just for the children.
You can still get in, Ruth.
Yeah.
Okay. There's one for seniors?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to report that we continue to monitor paper tutoring and to see how it's used. There have been 18,262 activities and 4,116 students across schools using paper. There's an additional campaign to increase this usage, and Smiley Villavicencio is doing this through professional development. And we look for this number to increase because we know when students use this, they do better in school, any type of tutoring. And then I'm going to move to the next slide, which is United Way. And this is one I want to continue to emphasize because you just call their United Way 211 website. It's free information and referral service. It connects people to community health and human services 24/7, 211. It serves people of all income levels, languages, and cultural backgrounds, emergency rental assistance, and provides services such as shelter, food, and health care during disasters. I want to recognize Rafael Garcia and John Faranga. They're not, John's here, but Rafael isn't tonight. And, I don't think people know what our district does every day, but yesterday, because, I received a call about some students that were living in a car. And so the district has, one of the highest numbers of homeless students and foster youth. So Raphael, and I think you went, John, to the park. I went there the night before and brought some food because they told me that they were hungry. I was told by a community member. And so Raphael and John and his team, they took the family to a hotel and got them 10 nights of lodging through the homeless money that we receive. But I met 3 students that are going to attend our schools, and their names are Julio, David, and Jesus. And I thought of you, Jesus, when I met him. He's a 5-year-old boy, and they didn't speak. The parents didn't speak a lot of English, but the young men I talked to, and when I went to my car after I left the hotel, it made me realize how grateful I am for what I have and what I get to do every day, and for what Raphael and John and that team over there at the Wellness Center do, because those are unseen, but that's the extent the district goes every day to help children and help families that need a lifeline. And when I talked to the young men, they said that they're going to enroll in school. They're getting them enrolled. And they said, we can't wait to go to school. We wish we could go today, And so I just want
the summer.
Yeah, they're going to tell them about everything. But they were living in a car in a park, and a community member told us, and they're from Columbia. And I just want to say that's what Moreno Valley Unified School District does, and that's what the Wellness Center does, and that's how they respond. So I just this 211 thing is really valuable. And it really helps people. And sometimes they can't call them, but they can call us, and we can help them connect. And I was privileged yesterday to get to go help with that. I didn't know I was going to, but usually Juan does it in my office. He goes and goes to the hotel and uses the district card to help facilitate it. But I was able to go do it. And then I want to remind people of enrollment and registration. Everything is online now. New student enrollment and transfers, and you're notified, everyone should be notified that their transfers have been accepted and that so they can prepare for the new school year. I want to thank Dr. Denims. Both Dr. Denims and Raphael are not feeling well tonight or they'd be here, but they have done a phenomenal job of closing the gaps for people that are in crisis in our community and helping people within our community make sure that they get what they need. And if they have trouble with anything, they help them. So I just want to reemphasize how important it is that people let us know whatever challenges you have. We're here to assist you. There's a full team. I just can't thank Rafael Garcia and John Faranga enough and the people who work with them there and Dr. Denims and her team, because they collaborate, they work together, and they, like when the students need to be enrolled, Dr. Denims was enrolling, Rafael was providing housing and food support. And, you know, that's something that y'all created as a board, and I want to thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kezior, and we're all looking forward to the various summer programs that are available. And thank you to our Health and Wellness Center for all they do for our students, no matter where they are or what their circumstances are. Now we're moving on to H2A, discussion on the
Madam
attendance boundary.
Madam President, can we take a 5-minute break?
Yes, let's do a 5-minute break. We will be back here at, let's do 6 minutes and be back here at 8 o'clock. Thank you. is back in open session at 8:01 p.m. Okay, we only went 1 minute over on our break. That's a new record. Thank you. So we'll go to H2A, discussion on attendance boundary adjustment recommendations. Susanna Lopez.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Board of Education, Dr. Kadzira. This is a follow-up to the agenda item that we had at the last meeting. So this evening, I want to walk through the information that was requested that we gather more detail on to present. And then I also have Samar Al-Zubaidi here, who's our Director of Facilities, that's going to help me with this presentation. So I'll cover the beginning of it and then turn it over to Samar, who will walk you through the rest of it. So what we wanted to do with these first two slides, it's really just repeating what the summary was of the previous presentation. And that is just that as an attendance boundary committee, we met as a whole and we had a pretty well represented group that included stakeholders from the Bear Valley Elementary School as well as the Moreno Elementary School. The site administrators were part of that boundary committee. And really what the attempt and the goal was of this meeting is to make sure that with the opening of the new Moreno Elementary School, we took a look at and were able to really balance what the enrollment looked like at the schools and working through different scenarios to do that. So that was the goal. And while we were doing that, we also wanted to take a look at a small area that is currently in the La Jolla Elementary School District and make some changes to that boundary as well. So this first map is probably going to be the one that's most overwhelming, even though I think we did a better job this time around putting in actual street names. And what you see here, and we're going to really focus on the next couple of slides and go into more detail to cover each of these slides, is this is just the general overview of what the current attendance boundaries are, and you can see those outlined in the red. So you're able to see that, and then in the different colors is what the new attendance boundaries will look like. So this is really an overlay map. And I'm going to take a look at, and we're going to break down each of these boundaries more in detail for you. And so you can see, here on slide number 4, I apologize, is taking the red lines out and only focusing on these new proposed scenarios. So let's take a closer look. And let's start with Bear Valley, okay? So this slide number 5 is your current attendance area for Bear Valley, and you can see that the general borders are Paris Boulevard, the 60 freeway extending all the way to Moreno Beach, going down south to Dracia, up Nason, along Eucalyptus, Kitching, and then Fur. So this is what today the attendance boundary looks like, okay? And so as we look to what the recommended boundary look like, you will see that for the most part, the Paris Boulevard to the 60 freeway is still intact. But instead of extending all the way now to Moreno Beach, like we did on the last slide, we're going to have the boundary now be Nason. And then it's going to go down now to Dracia, whereas before it was Eucalyptus. And so you can see that the border would now be Dracia, goes up along LaSalle, follows along Eucalyptus to Kitching and Fur. So for the most part, the north and west boundaries stay the same, but you can see that instead of extending further east all the way to Moreno Beach, we're now cutting it off on Nason. And also want to remind our stakeholders, and we talked about when we're meeting actually at the school sites with parents and families, that because we are a school of choice, you're not locked into attending the school that you reside in. And so that was probably the trickiest thing when we were going through this exercise of the attendance boundary, because our demographics company, they're looking at the people where they live. Well, that doesn't necessarily align to the schools that they attend, right? And so that was probably the biggest challenge. So this is Bear Valley. Any questions on Bear Valley or clarification before I move on to Moreno? And if you want to really look into further detail on Bear Valley, this here in blue is the areas that were now added to Bear Valley. And based, again, on this demographic information that we have, they classify things into study areas or grids. And so they were estimating that you have 79 students that reside in these grids that used to be Moreno Elementary, that will now be Bear Valley. And you can see that the reason we added an area to Bear Valley is because they were losing everything to the west of, to the east of Nason. And so we'll take a look at Moreno now in detail. So this is Moreno. This is what it looks like currently, right? So you can see that the general boundaries here would be LaSalle up to Eucalyptus, down Nason, extending Dracia to Moreno Beach, and then going south to Alessandro all the way back to LaSalle. So this is what current boundary is today for Moreno Elementary. The proposal would be that we extend now north to the 60 freeway, right? So now it's going to follow Nason all the way to the 60 freeway and take that chunk that used to belong to Bear Valley, because now it's going to go 60 freeway to Moreno Beach and then come all the way down south to Alessandro. So you can see that there's an extension. We've talked about Moreno Elementary. Currently, that school has an enrollment of 495 students. As Dr. Kidzura has mentioned in his presentation, that school is designed for 800 students. And so we needed to change the boundaries so that there's a greater enrollment. And by doing this, we are actually projecting that the school will have, for next year, 700 students. And the reason that is the case is when you look at here highlighted in blue, these were the two study areas that belonged previously to Bear Valley, but would now fall within Moreno attendance boundaries. And these two study area alones, or these grids, could house approximately 236 students. So you could see where this is the gain, and then it was offset by the decrease of the 79 for that smaller area that went from Moreno to Bear Valley.
Could I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, we've done some approval of some CFDs. Are those new housing tracts, are they going to be within Moreno Elementary as well?
There is a couple of housing tracts that would fall in those current
So
borders.
they might get more students from there as
Yes,
well.
correct. And that's why we wouldn't want to project an enrollment of 800, because then there wouldn't be room for growth, correct? And so we wanted to make sure that they had more students than they currently have, but make sure that there also is room for growth at that school. So I'm going to now turn it over to Samer, and I'm going to let him walk you through the changes to La Jolla and Hendrick. And then also, if you want to take a closer look into the link and that interactive map, we could do that as well if this isn't enough information for you. So I'll turn it over to Samer.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Ms. Smith, Board of Education, Superintendent Kidzura, Cabinet, respected community, and everyone watching us on YouTube. Good evening, everyone. Following the same logic that Ms. Lopez was outlining here for the boundary changes for La Jolla, this is the current attendance area for La Jolla, which you can see from starting from LaSalle on the west, going north to Alessandro Boulevard, and then down Moreno Beach south, all the way to Lake Paris, and going back around that boundary that you can see all the way up, and then back to LaSalle. That's the current boundary change here, and we're basically the only change that we're doing is the square on the top northwest of this. Okay, so the area that you can see the change from LaSalle going to Cactus East and then going to Kitching North. That square, there are 2 apartment buildings that are getting built there, about 220 units altogether. And these units will generate kids, definitely. So those kids gonna go to Hendrick. And this is closer distance from these apartments to Hendrick Elementary School, and also helping La Jolla with the capacity of the La Jolla Elementary School. So that's pretty much the change. And these 2 entities or the apartment buildings highlighted in blue, these are the 2 study areas that were basically added to Hendrick, if it makes sense. And that's the only change for La Jolla. Right now there is none. There is 0 change at this 23-24 year. We're anticipating when the apartment buildings getting completed for the next school year, there could be some change. And this is Hendrick current school boundary, starting from Paris, going north to Alessandro, then south LaSalle to JFK, then to Kitching, and then back to Cactus, back to Paris. This is the current boundary. And the new boundary will extend east of LaSalle to Morrison Street and going back to Cactus again. So that little square added to the Hendrick Ranch boundary as we indicated. That's the new change. And these are the 2 study areas as we outlined them previously on the blue. And this is the interactive link that we prepared and shared with the board. If you guys have any question, you want to see the link or you have seen it, feel free. If you have questions for us, we're happy to answer those.
So parents will be able to navigate this?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like us to demonstrate how the interactive map works?
Yeah.
So wait, you just took that QR code on your phone?
So on the right-hand side, there are what's called layers: elementary, middle, high. So these are on the right-hand side. You can turn off and on these layers, and on the left-hand side, the legend that shows you the proposed. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. So these are the. Again, these are the filters here, and that shows you the school site. Turn them on and off, and this is the legend that shows in colors all these areas, so people can zoom in and out and see if the streets are really happening to be within the boundary of their school area, homeschool or not, and you can move that to this side. And you can keep those colored legend on the side, and you can zoom out and then choose like this area, for instance, study it. Okay, so this is now Hendrick because it shows the color on the legend as tan color for Hendrick. So now it's Hendrick area, and you can see it's between Cactus, Morrison, Alessandro, and LaSalle. So even if I'm not seeing, I can zoom in, I can see the street name. So it's interactive map. You can see the street names, you can see the boundaries, you can see the colors of each area, and you can see on the legend. And then, as I said, in the filters on the right-hand side, you can turn on and off all these layers. You need to do any further clarification on that? Anything you want me to?
So I just wanted to clarify how parents might be able to access this interactive map. They just take a photo of the QR code and click on that?
It should be on the district's website, the interactive map. I'll make sure to work with Claudia and make sure it's on the district's
Okay,
website.
so where on the district website would you look?
I will, I'm not 100% sure, but I will definitely come back to you with the exact location, but I think it is on the district website, the
Mrs.
interactive
Smith,
map.
I think we also said that there were going to be community meetings, correct?
Right.
So if they're gonna be community meetings, I think it'll be shared with the parents at that time, that barcode, and they're all probably gonna start accessing it right then and there.
If I was a parent, I'd be accessing it now.
Yeah.
Because I'd want to know.
Well, the good thing about it, the children can attend any school in the district. So
That's
I did
right.
have a question about that, Ms. Lopez. We're looking at the enrollment of 700. You know, you're opening a new school, you look at areas for growth, because what you don't want to do is start putting portables on a brand-new campus. So at this point, you reach capacity, then what happens to those parents who want their children to attend, and we reach capacity?
So one of the things that we do is just, you know, the way that other transfers work, as long as there's availability, you allow the transfers in. If, for example, there's no longer availability, then the school wouldn't accept any other transfers. But then there's a priority that they work through with centralized registration as far as like when their siblings are already attending and so forth. So that would be followed. I think the other piece we need to realize is that the school does have a sixth that is slated to open with 2 6th grade classes is what we're projecting. And so as there's students that are exiting, you have students coming in.
Right.
And so, for example, we would just continue to monitor. I know that right now we are projecting that it's going to start with 2 TK classes, but it's really until the students show up.
Right.
That we're able to do that. So we always assume that once they're enrolled there, they're going to matriculate through the grades at the school, but sometimes we're surprised and the things and numbers change, or you'll have transfers coming in at the upper grades versus the, you know, starting in kinder. So we just continue to monitor.
I think this is where the map comes in now. If you reach capacity, now the attendance boundary is gonna really, this is going to be the indicator here, because even though we said you can go to any school, but the boundaries, if we're at capacity, then your attendance boundary is Bear Valley. You can go to Bear Valley, and then when there's an opening, then you can transfer.
We currently do have situations where students are also overflowed. So you don't, it's not something you like to do, but that does happen from
Yeah.
time to time where you do look at having to overflow to other school sites. So we do that. But when you look at the map, really, and let's see if I can focus in a little, because it's almost like a puzzle, right? Because what you see, especially when you look at the demographics, you start to look into areas. And I don't think it's a secret that we are seeing decline in enrollment on the west side of the city.
Yeah.
Right? And you're starting to see a lot more development, and we still have land available on the east side of the city. And so to say that this is going to solve the problems forever, we have to be realistic, right? With all the open land there, it's a matter of monitoring developments as they come about and new developments and looking to plan for the future as much as we can, because the reality is we don't have as many campuses on the east side of our city as we do on the west side. And so that's just, you know, something that we continue to look at and monitor. And even with the existing campuses, are there things that can be done? And I agree, we don't like portables. But are there other options that we can look at when we start to look at some of our campuses that are going to be reaching capacity?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions from board members?
Yeah, just one question. On the map for Hendrick Ranch, you are including the 2 apartment complex that are being built. So I'm just curious about what is your estimated number of students in those apartments?
Great question. If we use the birth generation rates from the reports that we utilize, we have about, I would say, 58 students, as I calculated them this morning, that anticipated to be added from these two apartment buildings to Hendrick Ranch.
So that's, it's not going to be a huge impact to Hendrick Ranch?
No, it's not.
Okay, thank you.
And then just to be strategic with that, Hendrick Ranch has been a school that has been declining in enrollment over the last couple of years, and so strategically this would help out so that that site does not continue to decline. And then those apartments actually are within walking distance. And so the other thing is, I think our principals are also great eyes for us, because I remember when even before those apartments went up, it was actually the principal that said, hey, once those, I'm hearing that there's something going to be built there. Are those students going to attend my school? She says, because you can walk to them. And so it's being able to have those conversations about when they're aware of things that, start to materialize in regards to some of these new development. And we are lucky that we do still have new developments in the future.
Any more questions? All right, thank you so much for your presentation. This was terrific information. I think it was exactly what we wanted. So thank you for putting that together and for all of your work in getting those street name boundaries in. I think it's good for the community to be able to see where their school will be. Most people, I think, do want their child to go to the school that they live closest to or that they're assigned to, and so this will help with that. Thank you. All right, so now we're moving on to I-1A, approval of resolution number 2022-23-111, board member absence. Board Bylaw 9250 provides that board members receive payment by resolution for absence due to illness, district-related business, jury duty, or if the absence was due to a hardship deemed acceptable by the board. On May 16, 2023, Board Clerk Ruth Self-Williams was absent from the special awards and recognitions meeting due to a hardship deemed acceptable by the board. Resolution number 2022-23-111 authorizes the district to pay Ruth Self-Williams for her absence. Do you have anything further to add on that? All right, then I need a motion on this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Yes.
Abstain.
Ms. Clark? Aye. Ms. Smith?
Aye. Okay. Moving right along to I-1B, approval of the second reading, Board Policy and Regulation 6173, Education for Homeless Children. Dr. Kadziora, could you talk about this resolution, please?
Yes, this update strengthens the language in the board policy to identify homeless and unaccompanied youth, and includes updated education code that lists their rights for immediate enrollment regardless of lack of documentation and the ability to participate in co-curricular and extracurricular activities and programs within the district.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? All right, then can I have a motion on this resolution?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the second reading, Board Policy and Regulation 6173, Education for Homeless Children, as presented.
No, second.
Moved by Ruth Self-Williams, seconded by C.J. Johnson. Call for a vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. Next up is I-2, an educational services item. This is approval of the 2023-24 Head Start grant application. Could we have Dr. Arce, would you please talk to us about this?
Yes, thank you very much, Ms. Smith. This is our Head Start grant application. We are requesting approval of this grant application, we provide, as our board is aware, Head Start services under Riverside County Office of Education. This application represents one of 5-year grant cycle, which then consequently we will be bringing this back to you every year until the 5-year cycle concludes. In this application, we include different documents in different focus areas, and the hope is to continue the programs at schools listed before you: Armada Elementary, Butterfield Language Academy, Edgemont Elementary, Rainbow Springs, and then another site to be determined.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the board on the Head Start grant application?
So the 17 are potential students that they have already enrolled. We're just waiting to place the students at a particular site?
Yes, we're looking at where we could find a place that meets the requirements of a classroom, restroom, and all that. So,
okay.
So we have 17 students that are that we could take as soon as we find housing.
I have here Carol Boyenheld and Ms. Jennifer Adcock, if I can ask them to just come up and
Could
the board can
you
ask.
please come up and
Thank you.
answer any questions we have?
President Smith, members of the board, and Dr. Kitziora. So the 17 funded that says to be determined, these are new spaces that we have requested and have been awarded from the county. So we're very excited. So we are, these are not students enrolled. This is for next year.
Okay.
And so this will cover us and bring us more slots to the program.
So my question about the criteria, when I think about Head Start and which families are being supported, a lot of it is around demographics, the area. So because I'm looking at, when you talk about south of the 60, on the west side, and yeah, that's basically it. So are we saying then that maybe to be determined that that particular site may end up being on the south of the 60?
Yes, it could
Okay.
very well be.
Okay.
That is our greatest need area
Okay.
and our greatest family
Because that's what
needs
I'm
for
thinking
that.
about, the greatest need.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Are we going to look at a classroom at one of these sites, Armada, Butterfield, Edgemont, or Rainbow Springs, where we already have students, or are we thinking of setting up maybe at a different site?
It is a possibility. We're looking at facilities to see what's available. And again, we do want a classroom with a bathroom in it and that will meet licensing requirements.
All right, thank you.
Well, I had a question about that, because if I remember, for Head Start, okay, they could, usually the county, it was like $1 to basically rent the facility. Like if it's in a portable, the county paid like $1 to have that facility on your site. So is this where we're gonna have to try to find space, or is the county gonna provide the space?
So we provide all the classrooms. So we're a subcontractor with the county. So they aren't renting facilities from us.
Okay. Because I know they used to rent.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank
All right,
you.
any other questions? No. Then can I have a motion to approve the 2023-24 Head Start grant application as presented?
I'd like to make a motion, to accept to approve the 2023-24 Head Start grant application as presented.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams.
Aye.
Ms. Clark.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye. Now we're moving on to, it's quite a jump to page 269, I3A, approval of the resignation of one member of the Measure M Citizens Bond Oversight Committee and recruit for the open position. Susanna Lopez, do you have any words of wisdom regarding this?
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Smith. We have received notification from one of our members, Mrs. Karen Whitehead, who currently serves as a senior citizen group representative that she's unable to continue fulfilling her duties on this group. And so we are presenting this and accepting her resignation. We also, what this would allow us to do is to be able to seek applications. And we've also attached our bylaws for the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee, which goes over the actual appointment and how we need to advertise, for example, in local newspapers, put the information on our website, as well as solicit applications from local groups. Once we receive this information, we will review it, and then we would make a recommendation after reviewing with our superintendent and hopefully be able to fill this vacancy. And, you know, we have been lucky because we have been able to have a full Citizens Bond Oversight Committee for the last couple of years. So we are very hopeful that we would be able to fill this vacancy soon.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so I need a motion to approve Mrs. Whitehead's resignation and authorize staff to recruit one member of the Measure M Citizens Bond Oversight Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and who seconded that?
Mr. Johnson.
Okay.
I second it.
Okay, moved, seconded by Mr. Johnson. Call for vote, please.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams.
Aye.
Ms. Clark.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye. Thank you. So if you're out there and you're interested in being a member of the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee, please contact the district office. How can they sign up for that?
The application will be available on the website. There is an area under the Facilities Department webpage specific to the SINS Bond Oversight Committee. And again, as I mentioned, we will also be advertising for it in a local newspaper as required.
Thank you very much. I hope some of you senior citizens out there who are still up and watching this meeting will think about applying. So let's move to I3B, resolution of the Board of Education of the Moreno Valley Unified School District determining the validity of prior proceedings establishing Community Facilities District number 2023-2 of the Moreno Valley Unified School District, authorizing the levy of special taxes within Community Facilities District number 2023-2, establishing an appropriations limit, making certain findings, calling an election, and taking related actions. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Call for the roll, please. Roll call, please.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams.
Aye.
Ms. Clark.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye. All right, resolution adoption. The board will now proceed with its agenda, acting as the legislative body of CFD number 2023-2. This is agenda item number I3C, consideration and adoption of resolution number 2022-23-105, entitled Resolution of the Board of Education of the Moreno Valley Unified School District, acting as the legislative body of Community Facilities District number 2023-2 of the Moreno Valley Unified School District, determining the necessity to incur bonded indebtedness in an amount not to exceed $18 million within Community Facilities District number 2023-2 of the Moreno Valley Unified School District, calling elections and taking related actions. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
Moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Mr. Johnson. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams.
Aye.
Ms. Clark.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye. Now we are conducting the election pursuant to resolution numbers 2022-23-104 and 2022-23-105. The chief business official is the election official for the combined special tax and bond election of Community Facilities District number 2023-2 of the Moreno Valley Unified School District. Ms. Lopez, have you received the waivers from the landowners that are necessary to conduct the combined special tax and bond election within CFD number 2023-2 at this time?
Yes, we have received the written waivers from the landowners within the proposed CFD permitting the election to be held at this time, and the waivers were duly approved and signed.
Does the election official concur in the request to hold the election in less than 125 days after the adoption of the resolution of formation for CFD number 2023-2?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to agenda item number I3D, conduct special tax and bond election and receive results for election for CFD number 2023-2. Do I have a motion to conduct the combined special tax election and receive the results from the election?
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. Has the election official received the ballots from the qualified voters within the CFD? If so, please declare the results of this election.
Members of the board, the special election called for CFD number 2023-2 on the combined special tax and bond election have been conducted. The results of the election are as follows. I received one ballot with 19 votes in favor and 0 votes opposed. Based on the votes on the ballot, Proposition 2023-2A, Proposition 2023-2B, Proposition 2023-2C, and Proposition 2023-2D have passed. The certification of election results will be attached to resolution number 2022-23-106, which is presented for your consideration.
Thank you very much. Resolution adoption, item number I3E, consideration and adoption of resolution number 2022-23-106 entitled Resolution of the Board of Education of the Moreno Valley Unified School District acting as the legislative body of Community Facilities District number 2023-2, canvassing the results of the elections held within Community Facilities District number 2023-2 of the Moreno Valley Unified School District. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
I move to approve resolution number 2022-23-106.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. Moving on to first reading of ordinance, agenda item number I3F, first reading of the ordinance number 2022-23-107 entitled Ordinance of Community Facilities District number 2023-2 of the Moreno Valley Unified School District, authorizing the levy of a special tax within Community Facilities District number 2023-2. Do I have a motion to present the first reading of ordinance number 2022-23-107 by title only?
I move. Go ahead.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Johnson. And did you second that, Mr. Holguin?
Yes.
Seconded by Mr. Holguin. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. The title of the ordinance, number 2022-23-107.
That's my part.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Clerk.
I'm so used to reading. I am
Okay.
so sorry, Mrs. Self-Williams. Move on ahead.
All right. The title of ordinance number 2022-23-107 reads as follows. Ordinance of Community Facilities District number 2023-2 of the Moreno Valley Unified School District authorizing the levy of a special tax within Community Facilities District number 2023-2.
Thank you. Copies of the proposed ordinance are available at the district's business office for public inspection. Members of the public may also request a copy of the proposed ordinance by emailing Esquibel, that's ESQUIBEL, at MVUSD.net. It is expected that the ordinance will be formally adopted at the board's next regular meeting to be held on June 13th, 2023. The matters related to CFD number 2023-2 are complete for this evening. The board will no longer be acting as the legislative body of CFD number 2023-2 for the remaining items of the agenda. The board will now be acting as the Board of Education of the district. Moving on to page 351, I believe, I3G. Approval of resolution number 2022-23-110 of the Board of Education of the Moreno Valley Unified School District authorizing the chief business official to apply for and sign certain assurances with respect to applications for local, state, and federal programs, projects, and grants to replace old diesel buses. Yes, Susanna Lopez, do you have some information on this?
Yes, thank you, Mrs. Smith. We have been reviewing information in our transportation department, and there's a number of grants that are out there right now that would help to provide funding. And so we are looking at replacing some of our old diesel buses, and some of the available grants that we are exploring are listed here that are available through Volkswagen Environmental Mitigation Trust Funds, California Air Resources Board, as well as South Coast Air Quality District, are just some of the programs that are available. And so what this resolution would allow us to do is it would authorize myself as a CBO to sign as the authorized individual so that we are able to apply for these grants, and hopefully we have some luck and are awarded these grants. And so this resolution is asking for approval to list me as the authorized signer.
Thank you. Are there any questions for board members? All right, then I will entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
I move we approve resolution number 2022-23-110 as presented.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams.
Aye.
Ms. Clark.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye. Moving on to J1, human resources items. First one is approval of job description, data reporting specialist. Dr. Verde.
Thanks so much, Ms. Smith. This first job description we are asking for board approval on tonight is formerly the data reporting technician job description with a revised title. As you said, the data reporting specialist. This person is critical and is required to submit accurate student data information as it relates to different state and federal reporting guidelines. This position also must possess the knowledge to perform complex technical and analytical data processing work for the different departments in the district. There is a slight increase in the range from 22 to 25, and the negotiated job description with CSEA does better cover all the skills and technical areas that this person covers at their desk.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the data reporting specialist job as presented?
I'd like to make the motion that we approve it. As presented.
Okay, moved by Mr. Johnson,
I'll second.
seconded by Mrs. Self-Williams. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams.
Aye.
Ms. Clark.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye. Moving to page 360 on our agenda, J2, approval of job description, graphic design and digital media specialist. Again, Dr. Verde, you're up.
Thanks, Ms. Smith. This position is another reworking of a current position with some substantial changes to better work in the area of the Director of Communication and Community Engagement. It was a revised job title from digital media specialist to the graphic design and digital media specialist position, which covers a variety of informative and professional areas that support our PIO, including promotional videos, graphics, digital media content. We really took a deep dive with CSEA to update this job description and to make sure that it also covers the content on our district websites and also other social media. So we just really reworked the job description again to cover the different duties this person performs. The salary remains unchanged, and it is currently at a range of 28.
Thank you. Any questions from board members? If not, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the graphic design and digital media specialist job description.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the graphic design and digital media specialist job description as presented.
I will second that motion. Call for a vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. Moving on to J3, another job description, instructional media materials technician. Dr. Verde.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Again, just working together with CSEA, we've updated this particular position, formerly known as the instructional media technician position. It's now the instructional materials technician position. It will also now be under the direction of the Director of Elementary Education and assist the district's instructional material program. So we've updated their supervisor as well as their job title. This job requires a general awareness and knowledge of the federal, state, county, and of course district programs for providing textbooks and other library books for our students and teachers to use. This includes ordering, distributing, taking inventory, and discarding procedures as necessary. It also requires a general knowledge of the audio-visual and instructional materials provided to augment and support instruction. Again, the salary for this particular classification remains unchanged at a range of 18, but is now better covers their responsibilities and who their supervisor is. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for board members? All right, then let's have a motion to approve the instructional materials technician job description as presented.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
All right, Mr. Johnson has made a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mrs. Self-Williams. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. Moving on to another job description, wellness liaison. Dr. Verde.
Thanks, Ms. Smith. Similar to this past one, we also negotiated with CSEA an update to this job description, formerly referred to as the Healthy Start Project Liaison job description. We've now updated the title, as you mentioned, to the Wellness Liaison. This person will now also be under the supervision of the Director of Wellness, Mental Health, and Community Outreach, and will assist them with the day-to-day operations of the Community Wellness Center. Again, the updates and revision that we work through better reflect the duties and current practices of the position. The salary range remains unchanged at a range of 22, but again, the job description does better specify their duties and responsibilities in that role. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no further discussion, can I have a motion to approve the wellness liaison job?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the wellness liaison job description as presented.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Holguin?
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark? Ms. Smith?
Aye. J5, approval of the variable waiver English learner authorization for the 2022-23 school year. Dr. Verde.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. We were actually able to recently fill a position in cosmetology at March Mountain, and this individual is coming to us with a need for the English language authorization, or the CLAD, to be finished up while under our employ. So this allows an agency to fill an immediate staffing need while they're working on that English language learner requirement. So we'll continue to guide the new employee towards that completion while they begin to serve the students at March Mountain.
How long does it usually take somebody, we've done a few of these waivers, how long does it usually take them to complete that requirement?
We usually try and get it done within their first year of employment, Ms. Smith.
Thank you. All right, any other questions? All right, can I have a motion to approve this variable waiver request for CLAD as presented?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the 2022-23 school year variable waiver request for the English learner authorization, better known as CLAD, as presented.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Self-Williams, seconded by Mr. Johnson. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams.
Aye.
Ms. Clark.
Aye.
Ms. Smith.
Aye. All right, and now we have up J6, approval of the variable term waiver for speech language pathology for the 2023-24 school year. So this is for the upcoming school year. Dr. Verde.
That's correct, Ms. Smith. Thank you. So for a new hire for the 23-24 school year in a historically difficult to fill position of speech language pathologist, this allows the district to fill an immediate and normally hard to fill staffing need by hiring an individual who is in a speech and language pathology credential program, but are still finishing up their university requirements. So we're excited to welcome this person to our district as they finish their particular area. And again, this has been a historically very difficult position to fill. It's good to have an in-house employee coming in to fulfill that role for us moving forward.
So the person that we're looking for this is already employed by the district?
Yes, is getting approved, yes.
Okay, great. And this would be at Valley View High School.
Yes, for the new
Okay.
school year.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion then?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Johnson,
I'll second.
seconded by Ms. Clark. Call for a vote, please.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams.
Aye.
Ms. Clark. Ms. Smith.
Aye. Page 378, J7, approval of the updated 2022-23 certificated salary schedules. Dr. Verde, you're on again.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. The board will recall that when we do update any of the employee group salary schedules, we bring them forward for final board review and approval for auditing purposes mainly. This update reflects the recently board-approved tentative agreement between the district and the Moreno Valley Educators Association from March the 13th, specifically related to Article 7 of salaries. And the updates to the attached updated salary schedule include the compaction of the salary schedule, the current step 26 collapsing to a step 23, which will be our new maximum step. And the 19 to step 23, there's also a 7% jump in pay between those steps. So there's been a compaction that's reflected in this recently negotiated tentative agreement that is now on this updated salary schedule for your approval tonight.
Thank you. I think we have a number of salary schedules attached to our agenda. So are there any questions? In that case, I need a motion to approve the updated 2022-2023 certificated salary schedules as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Johnson, seconded by Mrs. Self-Williams. Call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams.
Aye.
Ms. Clark. Ms. Smith.
Aye. So J8, approval of board resolution number 2022-23, elimination of certain classified bargaining unit positions. Dr. Verde.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Smith. That's correct. This is an item that we periodically bring before the board. It's part of our position control function to make sure that if there are vacant positions or positions that are no longer being utilized, that we bring them forward for elimination. Of course, any type of elimination or reduction in hours must be bargained with our local CSCA, the effects of that. We have sat down with Ms. Neal, and she has reviewed and signed off on the particular elimination of these positions. And again, we're able to say that any affected employees who may have been moved have landed in another vacant position without the loss of hours or wages. So before you tonight is simply the elimination of vacant positions that no longer affect employees. The employees have all been assigned elsewhere and have landed safely.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve this resolution as presented?
I move we approve resolution number 2022-23-102, elimination of certain classified bargaining unit positions effective May 24, 2023.
I'll second.
Moved by Mr. Holguin, seconded by Mr. Self-Williams. Mrs. Self-Williams, call for the vote, please.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Holguin.
Aye.
Ms. Self-Williams?
Aye.
Ms. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye. Okay, and now we are moving on to acknowledgement items K. So these are job descriptions within nutrition services. Dr. Verde.
Thanks, Ms. Smith. Again, working with our local CSEA chapter in negotiations on April the 14th, we did revisit the 4 attached nutrition services positions, cafeteria lead persons 2 and 3, and also the nutrition 2 and nutrition 3 positions. All the salary schedules and calendars have remained the same, but we have updated the job descriptions for legal purposes to include licensing and certificates required by the American School Food Services Association. Director Leiter brought those forward, and we sat down with CSEA to make sure the affected job descriptions reflect those licenses and certifications needed by the folks in those positions.
Thank you. And there is no vote on this item, so now we're moving to L, future agenda topics and comments for board members and superintendent. We have one speaker on this item, Roy Bleckert.
First item I'm requesting to be put on the agenda is the repeal of the current legislation, AB 1266. 1266 authorized the, 10 years ago, boys in the girls' bathrooms, locker rooms. And if we have to have a discussion on why this is not a great idea, we've lost all sanity anyway. So that's what I'm requesting. Be a resolution to do that and work with the legislator, lobbyists we have to work with our current legislators to get that repealed. Second one is current legislation proposed by Corey Jackson, AB 1078. That's to pull the curriculum and the books out of local control from the school districts and put it at the state level. Again, if I have to explain why that's a bad idea, we're in deep trouble. No matter what, everybody has more of an ability to affect what needs to be in and out of our kids' schools. We don't need to be dictated by the state of California or the federal government with all these mandates and stuff has got us into the mess we've had. Second one is Corey Jackson's AB 702. We're going to take the juvenile justice system out and the cops are racist and all this. You know, as good as you guys may or may not be, you cannot solve every problem. There comes a point in time when a student the school district is no longer able to handle the situation. And then it has to move into our criminal justice system. We don't need to destroy that. If nothing else, we need to strengthen it. Corey Jackson's bill would actually make the problem worse, so we should be opposing that. Third one is, of course, K-9 hating Corey Jackson 742, which is to take the police dogs out of law enforcement. If we got a problem at a school or something and kids are going out, let's say some criminal shooting or something in there and a dog could get and stop that, Corey Jackson would eliminate that. Should be opposing 742. I'll have some more for you, but that should give you enough to start with. This is what our school board should be doing. This is what the legislative lobbyists should be doing, representing us up at the committees. I don't hear Moreno Valley Unified School District's lobbyists opposing or supporting these bills. That's a failure of the system. We should be doing the job. It affects all our kids. It affects what happens in this community. Get to work.
Thank you. Moving on to future agenda topics and comments from board members and superintendent. Mr. Johnson, you're up first.
Okay, thank you. I'll just be brief, but I do want to acknowledge Dr. Ketchiora for the wonderful job that he that he continually do when he's bringing our students forward to come and let us know what they've been doing in school. I've been on the board a few years now, and when I remember when I first started, we didn't have anything like that. We may have had 1 or 2 students come, you know, at a meeting every now and then, but now we have them quite frequently, and I like that because we know our students are doing a lot of good work in their schools, and they just need to be recognized. So I want to thank you personally, you and your staff, for going out and getting these kids recognized in public and having them to say a few words, you know, let us know how they feel about it. But I know where it started from, so I really appreciate that, because without you and your foresight and your experience, that would not be happening. Also want to thank the staff. You guys work tremendously hard. I know it's you guys have a difficult task, but this is what you signed up for. But we want you to know that we appreciate everything that you guys do. And I don't go as much as Mr. Hogan, but I do go out a little bit. When I do go out, I see some of you all there at some of those functions. So I want to say thank you for that as well. We were just at one not too long ago. I don't even know why I was there, but you were there. You remember at the middle school, was it? So I recognize that, and I want to make sure I let everybody know that we appreciate those activities that you guys are participating in. Appreciate that very much. The retirees drive-by, I just wish we could have given them more. Those folks were so happy just to stop by and hear my colleague, Mr. Hogan, talk. No, I was the guy that doing that. I did that on purpose. They had to tell me, look, there's cars backing up, man. Let that one car go. But no, I did it on purpose, and I don't mind saying I did that, because a lot of those folks were not retiring, but still, I want to make sure they understand how much we appreciate the hard work and the dedication that they put in year after year after year in this district. And so I thought the least that we could do, I could do, was just to stop and talk to them and or allow my colleagues to tell me, let them go. We have others to do the same thing for. So I'm going to quit with that. But again, thank you, Dr. Ketzer, for putting that together and making sure that we acknowledge those folks like that.
Now, I would like to start by, I guess, repeating what Dr. Katsura mentioned in his report regarding the Classified Employee Week, Appreciation Week. And, of course, we appreciate all the work of all the employees in the school district, and all the different organizations. But being this the week of the classified employee, I wanted to stress that, like he did in his report. And I just have to say, at some point in time, I was a member of the classified union way back then. So, I have a special feeling for that. But all the employees are appreciated. And then I want to say that I am very thankful for the district moving forward in updating or creating the strategic plan for visual and performing arts. I think that is an excellent way to go. And we have seen a lot of developments in that area. With the strategic plan, I would expect that I would suspect that is going to get even better. But I cannot complain what it has happened in the visual and performing arts, given that many number of students in our district the opportunity to experience one of those disciplines, and what we have seen at the different events is just amazing. The bands, the elementary bands, the elementary choir, the elementary orchestra, and on and on and on. It's just amazing. So I just have to say I'm extremely thankful for what is happening there. This is the time when we will see and we will attend a lot of celebrations, recognizing students at all different levels. I have been able to attend a couple already, and many more to come. I'm looking forward to attend as many as possible. But I have to say, students are amazing, and the recognitions that we are witnessing for what they have done, what they have accomplished, whatever grade they are today, it's just amazing, and I'm extremely proud and extremely thankful of all the students being recognized, and the ones that are going to be graduating, especially, and looking to the next level, well prepared for the higher education institutions. So congratulations to all of our students there. And that includes those students that went through the AVID senior recognition at UCR, which I was able to attend. It was great to see students from all the 4 high schools. I remember when only 1 high school was participating in that program, but today we see students from all high schools and also the middle school participating in the AVID programs. So congratulations to those students. I already mentioned the visual and performing arts. And then I was able to attend the College Network Seminar at Moreno Valley High School, where we saw, about 150 high school students getting information directly from representatives from higher education institution. And it was a great event, a great opportunity for those students to get familiar with those institutions and the programs and opportunities that they offer. So thankful for those representatives that came to Moreno Valley High School, and thankful to those students that took advantage of having that communication with them. So, again, we're at the time when there's a lot of celebration, there's a lot of things to be thankful for, and celebration for the amazing accomplishments of every student. And tonight, we adopted a resolution about parents and parent participation, and I think that's a critical part of the collaboration between the school district, the families, and the parents. And I just want to say thank you to all the parents that are actively participating in that process and making sure the students are ready to come to school, prepared for the learning process. And thank you for everything that the parents do outside the school district and within the school district, participating in events, activities, and bringing their opinion, bringing their input to continue improving the educational system. So, and then I'm not going to go into detail, but we were able to attend the CSBA Delegate Assembly and working on learning about the current process for the budget and many pieces of legislation. And we'll be happy to share written reports that we received with members that were not in attendance to that. So that's all I have for tonight. Thanks so much.
Mrs. Soph Williams.
Okay. As we come to the close of the school year, as Dr. Kidzura mentioned, we have 12 days of school left. This is a time when families are preparing for graduations, the celebration. Families are coming together because parents have waited a long time for that special day when they see their children walk across the stage to receive their diploma. That's a journey. I want us to keep in mind what was said tonight, something that I heard when we talk about Maslow's hierarchy. It's so important when we look at the needs of children. That has to be taken care of first before anything else. When we look at children basically having the food, clothing, and shelter, making sure things are in place to support them emotionally. This is a very, very difficult time for a lot of our children. And I just want to let parents know it's so important that you know that the district is here, our parents and our students, anyone who's struggling, anyone who needs support. Dr. Kidzura mentioned it tonight about our wellness program that we have here in the district. Rafael Garcia, what his program is doing. Well, we are stepping in, our children who are homeless, our families who need additional support. We're here for you. It's important that our children also know that if there's anything that you need, please reach out to your school principal, reach out to your teacher, contact the district, and of course, Dr. Kidzura will give you his personal cell phone number. But I want us to think about how important it is for the next 12 days that we focus on the joy that's about to come. And he's also transitioned the bridge. There's going to be programs this summer that you can still continue to attend. So I don't want anyone to think this is the end of the road. Even though we have 12 days of school left, we are still providing programs for you to attend during the summer so we can keep that learning going. Last thing I want to talk about is this coming Monday, Memorial Day. I want to wish all of our families, our employees, staff, a wonderful Memorial Day, and coming back on Tuesday all refreshed and focusing on all these wonderful celebrations, because I'm looking forward to all the graduations that are coming up. I'm just hoping it'll be a little cooler this year, because last year it was really hot. So that's all I wanted to say.
Mrs. Clark.
Hi. I hope it stays really hot. I like it hot. Yes, so I just want to say this was a great board meeting. There's a few things I want to address. I am really, really excited about the cool off with the summer expanded learning. I think it's a great opportunity for the course recovery, and I think that Moreno Valley Unified School District is doing an outstanding job with this program. I mean, it's really going to help our students. It's forward thinking. You know, it's the best summer camp that I've ever heard of, and it's free, right? And I think that all the parents should know that this is a good opportunity for elementary, middle, and high schools. And I'm really, really excited about it. I had the opportunity to attend the CESA picnic over the weekend, and it was remarkable. The food was great, the family, the friends, the kids. Oh my gosh, you should have saw those babies hit that piñata. It was a sight to see. There is some major strength in this district when it comes to candy. And they had such a good time just to see the lovely smiles. If you walk through, you could just feel the energy of the classified employees, and I'm so excited to celebrate them this week, and we should celebrate them always. I know they're going to be looking forward to this graduation. Yay, because it's graduation season, and I'm just so proud of everyone. I think a lot of times when I'm on the dais, you know, I'm a policy person. I'm definitely policy driven. And I talk a lot about the needs of the board. And I don't intend that to come across as rude or mean, but I'm definitely here to do a job, and I take this job serious, and I was elected to do so. So that being said, there's a couple of things I would like to add to a future agenda, if we could talk about that. I would like to add, and we've already talked about it with Dr. Kiziora, so I know it's forthcoming, but I just wanted it on record, about the check warrants and coming to the board. So right now, we do receive the contracts, and we do receive the purchase orders. Thank you guys for that. What I also like to see is check warrants, right? So I understand there's direct pay, and then there's the purchase orders. But I like to see a list of those come before the board every week, or every time we get an agenda review. I'd like to see, just like the purchase orders, maybe the check warrant. So if we could identify that, because the board should know what's being spent at the school district. You know, we need to ratify that. We need to make sure that we're in compliance. I know that we do have outside auditors, but I think it's very, very important for the board to see, especially since we are tasked with a fiduciary responsibility. Now, if our other board members don't think that that's a good idea, fair enough, but we need to come up with a policy that puts in place who is responsible at that time or from here on out. So I think that's really important to talk about, to agendize, to make sure that we're all on the same page. In addition, you know, there's some things that happened this evening that I wasn't very clear on, and that means I'm not sure about policies. I look at other districts and I see how they agendize things, I see how we agendize things, but I'm just not clear. So I do think that it's very important and appropriate for this board to have established some training, and perhaps we can come together for some training for the upcoming school year, right? Because I'm not familiar. I know that we have some, what I call the greatest of all time board members here. You know, they've been here for a while, but I'm fairly new. And I think it's very important
that I do my job efficiently, and to do this job efficiently, that requires training. And I think that everybody could use a refresher because, you know, I don't know, sometimes, you know, I just don't know. And we'll leave it at that. And I think training is good. So I think that we should do that because we need to set some board priorities and other things. Lastly, I was just looking at my notes. Lastly, yeah, I just want everybody to have a great Memorial Day. I'll stop it there. I think that's enough for this one. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Thank you. As the end of the year approaches, we see so many events celebrating our students, families, employees, as well as final concerts and other events. Last week, I attended the African American Parent Advisory Committee end of the year gathering. I will say this, they know how to put on a party. There were games for the kids, music, dancing, great food. A good time was had by all, including me, at this event. It was a lot of fun. A lot of people were out there dancing, having a good time. I saw a lot of smiles and a lot of people just enjoying themselves, so that was great. Earlier today, I went to Serrano School for the United Way Spring Giveaway as to Serrano Elementary School. Thank you to the United Way of the Inland Empire for their contributions to our schools. It's not this one event. They do so many things for us, and I want to publicly thank them and tell them how much I appreciate all that they do for our schools and our families here in Moreno Valley. Last week at our special meeting, many students and employees were recognized. Congratulations to all of you. We also, out in the parking lot, you didn't see it on YouTube, had a drive-through to recognize employees who have devoted 25, 30, even as many as 40 years to Moreno Valley Unified School District, as well as those who are retiring from our district. Thank you for your work on behalf of our students. It is not possible to recognize everyone at these events. You know, I'm sure there were many, many people who have done a lot of things this year, received a lot of awards that have not been recognized here in the board meetings, and I would like to say congratulations to everyone who worked hard and excelled this year. Our slogan is Shining Brighter with Excellence on Purpose. You help us to achieve this goal. Last weekend, Mr. Johnson and I were introduced to a young woman, and Mr. Holguin did the introduction, so he knows her too, who's a student at UC Davis. She graduated from Moreno Valley High School in 2020. She's a junior this year, will be a senior next year, and is already applying to medical schools so that after her senior year, after she graduates from UC Davis, she can pursue that goal of becoming a doctor. So, you know, we have great students and great things coming out of Moreno Valley and out of our high schools, and our employees and our students are the ones who make this excellence possible. So I'd like to say thank you for all of your hard work. I appreciate everyone. Thank you. Dr. Kedziora.
Thank you, Mrs. Smith. So Monday is Memorial Day on May 29th, and I guess they're going to bring up a PowerPoint, but I got a couple of pictures I want to show you. But you know, all school sites in the district office is closed on Monday, May 29th, but that's a day to honor and remember. And every year I fly back to Memphis during this time, and I will be leaving on Saturday. My father and mother are now both buried in the National Cemetery there, and I'll be speaking there on Sunday at the event. They don't have it on Monday, they have it on Sunday. But I guess they're trying to find it. But there's a great picture of that cemetery and me in it. And I just remind people, because when you go there, sometimes people don't remember and they don't know. And so it's important to, you know, if people have children, you know, to take them there and to visit. You know, they're really beautiful places. But I'm going to go to the next slide. We can come back to it. And then they just aren't great without pictures, you know. It's like I feel like I'm talking without, you know. But Brandy Clark, y'all, look at her. Her picture's different than I have up here. But she's celebrating a birthday on June 5th. And we want to say happy birthday to you and let you know that, how honored we are to work with you, but to thank you for what you contribute to our board and our community, and especially on this birthday on June 5th. And I might finish this before they bring it up, but I really wanted this one to be up there, but I'm going to go to this slide. So the graduation schedule, I said this earlier, but there's 2,540 students graduating, and 75 are in adult education. And, Oh, people are talking. Okay. Yeah. But I want you to know there was a time, and I appreciate the work that went into this, Dr. Arce and John Black and different people that work on graduation. The whole district comes together at this time. All the administrators are at every graduation. That didn't used to happen. And it's really important because we used to graduate, we had to choose where to go. And then kids said to me, "Why weren't you at my graduation, Dr. Kedziora?" Now, I know it's not just about me. They said, why aren't the board members, why aren't they all at our graduations? And I said, because we graduate on the same night. And so I want to thank Anthony Pipkins, because he's back there, because, this is a long week, and the safety and security team, Dwight Taylor, because, we get to go to every one of our graduations and shake their hands. And I'm reminded of the story of a student at Stater Brothers when I checked out one night, and he said to me, "Dr. Kedziora," he said, are you the superintendent? I said, "Yes." And he goes, "You were at my graduation." And I said, "Yes." He goes, "You shook my hand and you told me you were proud of me." And I said, "Well, I am." He said, "Well, I'm glad you were there because my parents couldn't go that night, and they had to work. And but it was nice that you were there, and I see you now, and it meant a lot to me." I'm reminded of that because students say that over and over, and they say how much it means to see us there and to know we're there for every school and for every student that graduates. Okay, so that's me on the cemetery. That's at my father's, what do they call that, tombstone? And he was in the Vietnam War and Korean War, and we grew up with him being at war. He was a very dedicated Marine. We didn't know what we know now, and I just want to say thank you to him and my family for what they contributed. My father was a Marine. When people say we were rich, we were not rich. We acted rich. My mother used to say, "We're not rich. I hate to tell you." She said, "I hate to break it to you." She'd take me to Sears shopping, and I'd say, "I don't like these clothes." And she said, "Well, you need to, because you're not going to another store." And I'd be like, "I hate that." But I want you to know I appreciate it now, because we didn't ever know we didn't have something. And I think about kids like Sabrina tonight, who was texting me, and she goes to Palm Middle School. And I just want to say to her, we're here for you. And everybody, struggles, has different times in their life. And just because you see us now doesn't mean we didn't struggle. So thank you. You can go to the next one. And there you are, Brandy. Happy birthday. And then you can go to the next one. And then this is the one I want to end on. So during this Pride Month of June, I want to say to the board, this took some time getting here. There were board members who were opposed to this and didn't want this to happen. And we understand there were different opinions, and I appreciated the board's respect for the different board members' opinions. So sometimes we don't know what happened, and it means a lot. Like when I heard her son speaking, he's 24, he got choked up. And you think about, he gets choked up because we're doing this, And, you know, you think to yourself, it takes so little to be nice and to just appreciate people. So I just, you know, that really meant a lot, Claudia. And I know you were proud of him, and I'm proud of him because he works with me. But I just want to say there was a time also, and, you know, I appreciate every board member. And I had a board member tell me never to cry at a board meeting. And he said, I don't want to ever see you tear up. And, you know, I appreciated what he said to me, but I do want you to know that I do cry. And I am emotional. And you know what? People connect with that. You know, more people connect with it than don't. So, you know, when sometimes we don't know our history or where we've been, it's good to know that because, you know, I appreciate that y'all hand me a Kleenex and don't send me a note and say, don't ever do that again. But I do want to say that this is about Ellen DeGeneres, and this was something that she ended her show with. And she said, if I've done anything in the past 19 years, this is when she stopped her show, I hope I've inspired you to be yourself, your true, authentic self. And if someone's brave enough to tell you who they are, be brave enough to support them. Even if you don't understand, by opening your heart and your mind, you're going to be that much more compassionate, and compassion is what makes the world a better place. So, Brandy, at the picnic on Saturday, you know, I got to meet a lot of different classified employees, and I told you about this young man that Joe Lynn introduced me to. And he was homeless, and I didn't know this. And Joe Lynn, he went to high school. Dwight, you were there, you met him. And he came up and talked to me, and he said, I didn't know I could talk to you because I didn't know if you would, like, chit-chat with people like me. And I want you to know, I told him, I said, don't ever feel like that you can't talk to somebody. Don't ever feel like that they don't want to talk to you, because everybody wants to hear about look what you've done. He's a nutrition worker at Canyon Springs High School, and the kids love him. And he loves them because he knows what it's like to be hungry, and he works in the cafeteria. So I think about that because people have a story, and sometimes they see you by who you are right now. And I was dressed really nice, and he told me, I like those clothes, and I'd like to have some like that someday. And my birthday's in January. So, but you never know. I say to people, say what you need, because you never know who's listening. And so I just want to say that people out there that are listening and still watching, it matters, and you matter. And so please don't ever stop sharing what's important. Thank you, Mrs. Smith.
Thank you, Dr. Kedziora. We appreciate your comments. With no further business to come before the Board of Education, this meeting is adjourned at 9:29 p.m.